Looks like we're live.
Oh, we're live. Well, defensive. Here we are at the Brawlhalla. I'm Drop. I already introduced you, but I'm gonna let you do it yourself once more.
Hey y'all, my name is Defensive, member of the community, and I am very excited for Brawl-A-Palooza, an event brought to us by EasternMediaGG. Drop, I'm excited, man. I see that we're getting resized here, so.
They're making us smaller. That's no good. I hope they're making us bigger. I don't have it up myself to see. But let's talk about this bracket, Defensive. There's some big names already in this bracket that I'm sure we're gonna see in top 8.
Well, I know that Noel is playing, and we have, LDZ's counterpart, LZD, playing today.
Is LDZ himself not in the bracket?
Honestly, I want to see him play, but I don't want to cast LDZ and LZD in the same match, like Keg and Toast had to last week. It's just too much. It's just too much, man. There's a lot of letters, and they're all the same letter, but they're in a different order, and it's confusing.
Yeah, very confusing. Not something we want. But let me bring up the bracket myself here and take a look. I don't think that we're going to be seeing Starlight today. If I'm not mistaken, he's away. He's out of the country.
He's in Canada, but I did hear a rumor that he could actually be going to Double Dime's place to play at Double Dime's place. So I think this actually might be one of the only times in a tournament where two competitors are playing in the same house, which is kind of like one odd mind blast kind of a thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it really does go to show maybe the lengths that Brawlhalla has come.
Right,
how much has been accomplished. Yeah, that's good. That's a kind of amazing that Tyler's out in Canada, being housed potentially by someone competing in this tournament, competing there against him, with him.
Now, see, I don't know if that's a good strat by Double Dime, though, because, if he won an easier bracket, he'd be like, oh, yeah, Starlight, don't come to my place, maybe, and, maybe give me an easier ride through the bracket.
He'll unplug the Wi-Fi, unplug the router.
Oh, man, that'd be dirty.
We'll Starlight in his match.
It might happen. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going through pools first in this tournament, and I'm excited for it, man. I haven't casted a tournament in a little bit over a week, and I'm getting those jitters. You know what I mean? It's been a while since I've been extremely excited over other people playing Brawlhalla. Normally, I'm on my own stream being excited about my own gameplay, but today I get to be excited over good gameplay because I'm not that good.
I understand that, Defensive. It's hard to be excited about my gameplay when I'm just low diamond. I feel good climbing the ladder, and then I queue into Stevenator.
Oh,
it doesn't feel so good anymore.
Yeah, when you're diamond and you get 3 stocked once in a while, you're like, oh, do I really deserve this diamond thing? Do I? Maybe not.
You got to ask yourself that question sometimes.
Right, but looking at the bracket again, we have Achilles and Boomy in pools A2. And speaking about getting 3 stocked in ranked, Drop, Achilles is 3 stocked in ranked a couple times. And Boomy, I don't even see him in ranked. He's too high up. High up.
Yeah, Boomy is a monster. Everybody knows that. He'll be fun to cast no matter what. No matter what happens in his game, it'll be interesting. It'll be one to watch, and it'll be one people talk about after the event. That's kind of the trademark of Boomy.
Right, unless he's trying to make a statement about wall slip, like he did a couple months back. But we don't want to talk about that anymore. I think we're waiting on our first competitors to drop on in here. Who are you looking forward to most? Sorry, man, it's been a long day already. Watching in this tournament.
Not to play favorites, but I'm looking forward to Noel. Yeah, he's someone who we see really turn it on in the tournament setting. When it comes down to crunch time, to lands, to finals matches, that's when he's at his best. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in top 8. And he just signed with Fable Esports. He left Flashpoint on good terms, playing for Fable now. That's 3 guys in Fable who are top 8 in CP.
Fable's taking up a lot of great players, man.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pressure on this tournament to perform as his first tournament as a Fable player. Like I said, that's when he does his best. So he's my favorite to win this. It's an easy pick with rank 1 CP Noel.
Right, I 100% agree with you. 100% I agree with you.
Welcome
I'm hoping
to
we see.
Brawlhalla.
I know I'm calling this hours before it actually could happen. I think we might see Boomy and Noel in the top 8 going head to head, battling for that first place.
Huge potential that's going to be our finals match. Noel and Boomy. I would give it to Noel maybe 60-40, 65-35. I think that he has what it takes to, at the end of a full tournament, beat Boomy. If they were to just play right now, a best of 3 or best of 5 set, I would say it's much closer to 50-50. But at the end of hours of playing in all these sets, again, that's just when Noel shines.
Yeah, mental endurance plays a huge part of being able to play deep into a tournament. And it's the same thing at a LAN event, right? If you're sitting there for, 6 hours before the tournament actually even starts, and your tournament's at the end of the day, like you're playing and you've already been up, an entire day. And it's the same thing here on a LAN. The only advantage of the LAN is you're in your own desk chair, right? You're not quite sitting in well, actually, I guess a DX Racer might be your chair at an event.
Defensive, I don't mean to interrupt you, and as much as we all like looking at your Nash, I think we have
drop one out
joining
here?
up. Yeah, I think they need you to get into the spectator.
I just wanted to make sure.
Spectator spot with me.
There we go. I had to hit
You're
C.
interrupting the players, defensive. I know you're used to being the star on the stream and all, but
It's my bad, man. You're right. You're right. I was just trying to steal the limelight. I was trying to sneak in as the first match. I didn't sign up for the tournament. I know I'm casting, but I wanted to just show my stuff.
It should have been dropped first defensive. Game 1, that's it. Winner of that wins the whole thing.
Custom.
I agree.
We don't need to go through a whole tournament.
No. It's just a 1v1 right here. Caster v caster. It's the way it should be.
We can cast it while it happens. It just makes sense to me.
Right. And it's also like, even if they have the tournament afterwards, just see who would get, 3rd place and, whatever else. It's a warm-up for the chat, right? They want to see some, high-level caster gameplay, sure.
We're close to as high level as casters come? Question mark? Yeah, we'll say it.
Duke and Sparky might be a little bit better, but...
Wait. We'll have to 2v2 them maybe coming up on a dev stream.
Sounds good by me.
I think that could be fun. A little fun match.
Sounds good. Lima Bean and K Knight 126 jumping in for the first match of the tournament. I'm actually familiar with Lima Bean. I think he's a diamond player. I think he's a good cookie too. He's been around my streams a couple times. But he's playing
random.
Yeah. I thought it was blind pick for a second. I had to check the podium. But he gets Holiday Color Bodvar. An easy pick, I would say, just because Bodvar is such a simple character to play.
3,
His weapons
2,
hit directly in
1,
front of him,
brawl.
above him, below him. And he's got very, very even stats. I think Lima Bean might have an advantage over guns and bow in this situation. Unless he's East. Oh no!
We're gonna see the immediate suicides coming out here from Bodvar. Hopefully we can restart this match, get everything rocking and rolling.
Player 1 wins.
I think that might have been either a wrong map, like you said, or maybe it was just
EU.
Oh, it's EU. I think we might have a name to peg on that one. I think that might have been our boy Expired. Not to name any names though. Never mind. I didn't say anything.
We'll casually point the finger at Expired for this one.
All right.
3,
so going into
2,
the actual first
1,
match, I don't know
brawl.
if Lima Bean went random again, but he picks up another sword character in Koji. He picks up the first weapon of the match. It's the first hit on tonight. And it looks like, unless he can pull out here, he's going to be knocked out in short order.
And this is really looking one-sided. We see Knight wanting to go for that bow pickup, and I think we're going to see a lot of bow in this matchup, which to me surprises me. I would have wanted to see Knight use those blasters more to try and combat the sword, the rushdown that we're seeing here from Lima. But instead we're just kind of trading damage evenly with these weapons, and with Lima already having an advantage, building it up a little bit more right now, Knight needs to find some answer to this.
Right, well, you said we were going to see a lot of bow, and we see Lima with his bow getting the knockout with 3 Sares back to back to back. Called it, man. We're going to see a lot of bow. Lima being sliding off the side of the map there with the neutral sig just to show off that he knows how to slide his signatures. If he gets a ground pound here, it could be the end. A side air against the wall. Knight's already in deep orange damage. Lima picks up a ton of hits very, very quickly on Knight's second stock. It looks like Lima Bean does have a dominant hold on this match.
And what we really saw happen there was the battle of the bow versus the blasters. Lima Bean was able to get all of those angles that the bow's good at. That diagonally downwards shot, even the neutral light that's so useful. And Knight wasn't able to get into any position to make those more linear attacks. The blasters, the straight out side light, the neutral light, the down light that go in a straight line, that just wasn't working with the spacing, and Lima Bean's able to completely control this match with that bow. Knight has absolutely no answer to it right now.
It might be a little bit of tournament nerves on Knight's side. We see him throwing out a lot of these side sticks as soon as he picked up the weapon, as soon as he spawned in, just there as Lima Bean was approaching him. It might just be that Knight is not used to playing in a competitive scene and is nervous here. It doesn't seem like he's going in for consistent light attack follow-ups. He does get a Sare to get Lima Bean over edge. Follows up with a recovery though and goes high instead of trying to go low. I don't know if he's trying to dodge from Lima Bean, but a neutral sig catches up Lima Bean and sends him off of the map. Not a 3-stock. Not a 3-stock.
Knight is finding his footing a little bit. He's able to answer back a little bit with the bow of his own. But again, I think if he's going to keep playing Diana, he's going to need to show a little bit more with those blasters. He's going to need to find more success, or Lima Bean's going to keep running away with this set.
And Lima Bean takes the first match against Knight with the recovery to knock out Knight's last stock. I think you're right. I think Knight definitely needs to pick up the blasters just solely because of those huge hitboxes on the grounded kit. Throwing out side lights, throwing out neutral lights will almost eliminate Lima Bean's, dead-on approaches and force him to go a little bit higher with theirs or try to dodge through and hit him with a reverse down light. But Knight seems to be switching away from being able to use blasters at all and goes with Ember with Katars and Bow as we're banning maps here now.
And if that's the weapon that wasn't working, I don't disagree with a change. I don't think people should switch off a dedicated main in a tournament setting just for going down one game. But if the blasters have been a problem and Knight feels more confident with the bow, this could be a good choice.
And
Katars versus gauntlets.
It's sharp fists versus blunt fists. That's about it, man. The side sig from the Katars is the first damage in the map, but Lima Bean quickly answers with unarmed, waiting, patiently spacing out Knight, trying to get that weapon on that top soft platform there. Does grab it up and he gets himself the gauntlets, down air, into a neutral light. Knight already in the orange.
And I'm concerned for Knight here with these gauntlet picks. Lima Bean not going random this game. He chose this core. He's got the snowman skin, and I'm thinking we're seeing a gauntlet main in action. There's the neutral sig, Lima Bean.
Wow.
Showing what he can do on random, showing what he can do on his main, and he's not letting the start of this tournament be boring.
No, he's not. He's definitely showing off some moves at down air. The neutral sig was definitely a good show. We see him trying to chase Knight on that right side beneath the island with the ground pound, doesn't quite pick it up. Knight going for the down sig that he hit earlier, not quite hitting this time as Lima Bean saw it coming from distance. And a down light into a down air, another down light into an attempted ground pound. He almost had Knight stock in his hands. And speaking of putting Knight in his hands, gets a side sig to throw Knight off the left side of the map. Ladies and gentlemen, Lima Bean's put himself in a position for another 3-stock here. It seems like Knight really hasn't made the adjustments that he needed to with the bow and hasn't really used the Katars to their maximum potential. And Lima Bean almost gets another gimp.
We have more than a 2-stock advantage right now, and that's going to be game over for Knight. Lima Bean adding a little insult to injury there with that unarmed dare. That's going to be a convincing 3-stock. Only 72 damage taken for Lima Bean.
I'm watching the 15-second delayed playback, and Lima Bean almost had 100-0. He just barely missed out on a Sare on that final string there.
I believe the second stock might have been a perfect stock.
goes to show that Lima Bean definitely knows how to play random. He has a large variety of characters that he can play. It might be up to 30, with Artemis being the 30th. Good show from both of the players. We'll see Knight try to make a run back in the lower bracket. Don't know who we're going to see next, but I am excited for the next match. I think we're going to have Steel, EDU, against Luna, the Alpha. Two players that I don't know much about, but we do see a diamond emblem on EDU, possibly representing Steel Esports.
That's a possibility. You know, we have the clan name to show us that. We can read Steel Esports.
I'm saying he might be represented by him because, like, you know, we see a lot of esports tags in the Brawlhalla community. That might not really be an esports organization.
We don't know. Not familiar with them.
But we have a dog and a cat in the first match with Mordex and Asuri. Wondering how that'll end up. Who'll come out on top? Who will bark or meow louder?
You know, it is an interesting weapon matchup here as well with the gauntlets and scythe on Mordex. I'm very curious to see what EDU wants to choose weapon-wise here. Sword and Katars both can struggle a little bit with the options Mordex has. I think EDU will have to make the most use out of that sword.
I think definitely will be because the Katars have those shorter hitboxes there.
Yeah, I just don't think the Katars will be that helpful for him in this matchup.
Unless he can get some dodge reads in on Luna and get a ton of damage in with those Katars, yeah, it looks a little bit grim weapon matchup-wise. But saying that, Luna's not gotten a single tick of damage on the Steel this entire match, and we do think back to the pre-screen, the Legend Select screen. EDU was the diamond avatar having guy, and Luna, he had a brawler badge.
Yeah, this is starting off pretty one-sided for EDU. 45 seconds in, first kill not quite happening there. There it is, weapon from EDU, and that's a perfect first stock. EDU pacing out for a JV4 right now.
Oh, he's pacing out not only for the JV4, for the JV4 in 3 minutes. We might see this match only go to the 5-minute mark. But we see Alpha finally getting some damage in with the gauntlets. Did he have a weapon that entire first stock? I didn't notice, honestly.
I believe he did. It was hard to watch defensive. EDU really ran away with that stock one, and he's really running away with game one. I think the thing to talk about at this point is what can Luna do into game two to try and change this?
I maybe get a hyperbolic time chamber, get a few extra hours of practice in. It looks like he needs to practice the matchup of Doggo versus Hattori. Gravity cancel breakdance will get the knockout on Luna for number 2. Honestly, man, after a landslide of a match, it's kind of hard to regain mental fortitude and to kind of really think about what changes you need to have, because it's devastating to get 3-stocked, man. And normally when I get 3-stocked in competitive, I tend to just mirror match. Whoever just beat me, I'll just take up their character and run with them. Get beaten by an Asuri, I'll play Asuri next.
Well, you know, that's one way to do it. I think it's really the just unstopped aggression all game from EDU here that Luna cannot deal with. He needs to find a weapon that'll make EDU play on Luna's terms.
I agree with you, and I think he could do that with the Scythe. He's just not utilizing it the way he could. You know, the Scythe has a great kit. You know, a lot of stacked options and a lot of distance options, like the downlight on Scythe hits out way in front and can interrupt those sword side lights that EDU keeps on throwing out. But I don't think Luna's just capitalizing on the fact that he has a weapon with an entire kit. He's acting like he has a Scythe that can only side light or neutral light. And that's something that I see a lot in some players that aren't quite up to the diamond level yet. They're not utilizing the entire kit of their weapon. And I think if any adjustments made, even if, you know, Luna stays with Mordex, it needs to be using his entire grounded kit. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. If Luna stays with the Mordex, big changes need to happen. EDU just looking to very comfortably take this set. Is probably his first game, maybe his second of the tournament.
Right. If we see EDU take this next match against Luna, he will take the entire set. And I think Luna the Alpha might have to sacrifice the Alpha in his title. He might just have to go by Luna afterwards, and we might be seeing EDU Alpha throughout the rest of the tournament here. Until, again, someone takes that role away from him, being the Alpha in the pack, that is.
It's a possibility. EDU certainly appearing that way right now.
Interesting
Beta
picks.
change.
Both players on the podium with a new character. We see Hattori on EDU side, a level 24 Hattori at that, and Luna with an Ada switch, having no weapons in common with Mordex, rocking level 5.
Ada taking the attack stance to defense Ada.
Oh no. Maybe just going glass cannon, man. That's exactly what it looks like. He either 100% destroys EDU in this match, or catches the other end of the stick.
I agree with this. If the first match was such a blowout, Luna needs to catch EDU off guard a few times, maybe find a Gimp early kills. Glass cannon's the way to do that. I agree with this pick.
Well, let's see if Luna's able to use the blasters and the spear to his advantage here. EDU interrupting that initial side sig. Oh no. Luna's going for sigs. Luna's going for big damage and big force early. Luna, please rack up some damage. Throw out some side lights, throw out some down lights, throw out some spacing, man. These signatures aren't going to cut it for you. Luna, what are you doing?
EDU is reading those signatures left and right, punishing Luna for every single one.
Luna's able to get back on the map. But misses another sig. No, Luna, please!
The start of this game defensive looking so much like the start of the first.
That it does. EDU has a lot of damage onto Luna, but it's so avoidable. Luna doesn't need to be throwing out these signatures.
Luna needs to be doing, as you said, less signatures and being a little bit more careful with that dodge. We're seeing some dodges come out early, just as I said that. The big frame trap from Hattori.
Yeah, EDU doing extremely well there to rack up the damage on Luna. The gravity cancel neutral sig goes the wrong way, but a follow-up Sair into a ground pound, and probably another Sair, but instead of there, will knock out Luna. In this match is going a little bit quicker than the first one. I think that 2 defense, that glass cannon, is showing some cracks. You see Luna throwing out some side lights here. Not using the sig kit until Caster's curse dictates her side sig. I'd like to see Luna get a stock. They got a stock in the first match. I'd like to see Luna get another stock here.
Luna just too hungry for that stock, though. Trying so hard to find the signatures, and I think that's the first sig that's hit all game from Luna.
It might have been. It might have been. The thing is, I don't know if people know this, but your signature's forces are locked on a character. The force and the damage from a signature are fixed, not because of the damage you have, but because of its unique properties. So getting extra force will not add extra force to your side sig or your neutral sig at all. And EDU with the 3 stock there.
That's going to be a very convincing win for EDU. Steel Esports. We'll see. I hope we see some more Steel Esports further down the line in this tournament. We still have top 32, top 8 to look forward to.
That is very true, and we don't know. Maybe EDU isn't the only member of Steel Esports. Maybe he shows up, and so does some of his clanmates. Steel Esports might take over the scene. Maybe they're the new Fable. We don't know. We don't know. Another name I recognize, Hurricane Pike Matthew jumps in on the podium, ladies and gentlemen. I am unfamiliar with Winter Bliss, but they do have a level 29 Hattori, and we're seeing a deck stance come out.
Now, the deck stance, a lot of people would say that's probably pretty questionable, especially on the Hattori pick. Going down to 3 attack, only 3 strength. I'm curious to see what Hurricane will pick.
I don't remember. I am familiar with him, like I said. I don't remember what he picked up, and I haven't seen him since Mordex is released, but he does have a level 24 Mordex that he picks up here, stanceless. And we're going into the first match, and honestly, I think this matchup favors Mordex. I think 100% if using the Scythe well, he'll beat out Hattori on sword at least.
It's all good. It's all going to be about Hattori's sword versus Mordex's gauntlets, and then in response to that, Mordex's Scythe versus Hattori's sword. And if Mordex can deal with that sword with his Scythe play, I think he'll be sitting very pretty in this game. But right now the spear coming out from Hattori. Gonna find
It's looking
some
strong.
damage.
We've heard a lot of things about Spear on the Twitter, the subreddit, and whatnot. It's a strong weapon at the moment. I think it's been a strong weapon for a long time. But most gripes I've heard about recently are about the down air on it. We'll see if Winter is able to capitalize on that down air. Hurricane Pike Matthew, though, doesn't care about what's happening on Twitter and the subreddit because he gets the first stock off in short order with his gauntlets there in the ground pound pit.
Yeah, that's going to be King's Pass for you. Hurricane using that shenanigan zone very effectively. Gauntlets very, very dangerous in there with that movable ground pound.
Indeed it is. If you're not on top of your game, you can find yourself quickly gimped with the gauntlets. And you know what, man? It's something that I find pretty annoying is that it seems like sometimes gauntlets can have a ground pound to ground pound true combo almost if your dodge is already burned.
Yeah, that's always feels terrible to get your first dodge caught out by that ground pound and then be hit by another one. Just nothing you can do.
A second later, Winter throws out a down seat there. Hurricane Pike Matthews able to nab him out of air with a dare. Hurricane back in the ground pound pit on top. Ground pound pit Winter underneath him. But Winter is strong and gets back out on top but gets knocked high. Hurricane Pike Matthew tries to charge the down seat, doesn't quite make contact, but a down air to punish Winter's down sig. Puts him back in map control.
And we're seeing Hurricane maybe a little too eager there to find these ground pounds in the middle. No, I spoke too soon.
Honestly, I feel like casters shouldn't even cast sometimes, man. We say something and the opposite happens. I don't know what's going on.
You know, that's the power of those gauntlets. We weren't seeing him have any success unarmed, but the second he picked up those gauntlets, moving with that ground pound, able to catch out.
Hit the platform. It looked like he was trying to go for a zero death in the ground pound bit there.
And Hurricane has a great, different number of mix-ups he's using here with these gauntlets. We're seeing him really try and get these dodge reads onto Winter, and he's found a lot of success this game, only now losing his first stock.
That side sig on Hattori does send your opponent very, very far when they're in red, and especially on the short walls of King's Pass is 100% going to be a knockout every time on that higher platform. Winter renders himself unarmed, throwing away that sword though, and we'll see if Hurricane Pike Matthews is able to take advantage of it. Misses the GC side sig. The frostbite just hasn't bitten Winter yet, it looks like. Hurricane Pike Matthews with a throw into a recovery, doesn't quite hit. Another weapon throw whiffs. Hurricane Pike Matthews trying to get the knockout here. He has Winter deep in the red. Down sig is just too short. We're back in the ground pound pit for a short while, but nothing connects. Side air, almost enough to do it. Winter unarmed again, back on the map, going to the high platform, avoiding the weapon. More importantly, avoiding Matthew and a recovery.
Player 2
As Winter tries to hop over the ground pound pit, will seal the first game of this set.
And just like the last game we saw defensive, that's looking very one-sided. Mordex seemed unanswerable from what Hattori was able to bring to the table option-wise, and I think we're going to need to see an entire character change come out from Winter. The gauntlet rushdown was way too extreme. Something that has strong aerial combat to try and counter those gauntlets. Something that Winter can abuse is what he needs to pick.
I'm thinking Winter might pick up blasters here to just do that. Strong grounded kit against the gauntlets and aerial kit against the gauntlets is what he needs here. The question
show me the Vrax defensive. I'm ready. I'd love to see that pick.
Why'd you gotta say Vrax, man? I was thinking like Cassidy or something. Not Vrax, come on.
You know, Cassidy's a popular pick. Vrax, that's a champion's pick.
Did you see my video? Are you ragging on me a little bit?
I am not. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have a very uncomfortable relationship with Vrax. But I did climb him up to like 1800 elo today, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Vrax is a good character.
He's great.
Winter Bliss with Nyx, countering gauntlets with Scythe.
We do have those blasters though. That's what you mentioned, and I think that they're going to be a huge part of this game. We do see with the borders gold versus diamond, which I didn't even realize going into that first game.
Neither did I.
It did go more or less as you could expect, just based on that.
right, on apparent ranks. Do you have the option to use a gold border if you achieve diamond, similar to the avatars? Or are you locked in with your highest border?
I'm not sure.
Alright, well, I'll test that out later. I'd like to use the gold border this season, because that's what I feel like I deserve. But, as we jump into this, we see Hurricane Pike Matthew ahead in damage again, and Winter's just, he went AFK for a second. His mom was delivering some pizza rolls or something, I'm not quite sure. But we're back in the action here in Winter. I'm just now noticing on white Nyx. Looks pretty nice. Looks pretty nice. I like the aesthetic of white Nyx.
You know, I gotta agree with you on the aesthetic. That is nice looking. It's not the boring old black that too many other people use. But as we see this game, here are the blasters. This is what Winter needs to try and make use out of. But he's putting out moves that are just a little bit too punishable. Those downlights that are missing. Hurricane hasn't really gotten too much value out of those whiffed attacks, but if Winter's not able to clean that up quickly, it's gonna get ugly.
Oh no!
And Hurricane!
What
a gravity cancel.
Honestly, if you had thrown him upwards like he just did on that down seed, he probably would have had the knockout right before it dropped. Maybe it was just a missed active input. Going back in with the gauntlets. You're right. He's using the blasters, Winter is, but he's not using them as effectively as like. And as much as I don't like to condone this drop, I feel like the blasters works very well as a little bit more of a passive weapon. Baiting your opponent into hitboxes as you move away from them is kind of their bread and butter. If you can't, aggressively string with them like some people can.
I think it's about putting your opponent in that position where they need to dodge your attack. Like you said, you really don't have to play passively to do that. You can very aggressively and punish with an attack.
Right. Another side I would do it.
I think that's what we see the really good Blasters players do, the high-level tournament players. That's generally what we see out of the ones who stand out.
Yeah, I agree. They go in extremely quickly with blasters and can put someone in a box that they just can't get out of until the blaster user decides to just blast them off into space. Winter's going for
that kills the sure thing. Ooh.
Player 2 wins.
Hurricane Pike Matthew takes the set, ladies and gentlemen. We move onward. I just want to point out, as much as I love the signature kit in Brawlhalla, your signature should make up like 10% of your moves, if that. We've seen two people play with a lot of signatures, both of them kind of falling a lot more than their opponent and not winning. Winning's important in Brawlhalla, guys. I'd say about 90% of your drive to play the game is to win. Would you agree, Drop?
No, don't. That's
no.
What are you talking about? Defensive? You got to play to improve. I mean, the mentoring stuff, man. What do you want? That's a crazy question. We just need to move past this and cast.
All right. All right, my bad. I thought, but I was wrong.
So how are you going to tell these guys winning's what's important? Have you ever watched a children's film? Have you ever seen a Disney movie?
A Disney movie? Yeah, of course.
Who won in The Little Giants? Tell me.
Huh? The Little Giants? What?
Who won? The Little Giants, not the jerks who only cared about winning. That's not what's important. It won't help you. It won't help you in the long term.
Big friendly giant? You lost me, man. You lost me. Little Giants.
You've never seen The Little Giants? We need to move past it.
I missed one, man. I missed a Disney movie. I gotta bring it up in a separate tab for later.
We have a really interesting game here, defensive.
Costlix and Lynx?
Oh yes. This is going to be our first very close match, I think, that we're going to see. And really, I'm not sure which characters are going to come out.
I think we're going to see Hattori and Scarlet, if I remember correctly, these two's preference on Legend selection. Costlix, of course, with the Scarlet. No, he goes with Roland. Okay. Interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're unfamiliar with Costlix, he's recently been coming up in the competitive scene. He played at CEO Dreamland. He's played online tournaments for a long time since, and he utilized Scarlet's Lance Downsig drop. Do you remember what was the thing with Scarlet's Lance Downsig?
What do you mean by that vague question? The vape attack?
No,
is that what you're asking me?
The fact that you could walk during the recovery frames of this Lance Downsig on Scarlet. You could moonwalk with it, and it was awful. It was awful, and Costlix based his gameplay around it. And it was, oh man, it got nerfed, I think week before last.
It's talking about people really who are into the SIGs and basing their gameplay around that, do we have Brightly in this tournament? I want to cast a Brightly match.
I don't. Remember what we were talking about, Vrax?
3, 2.
You found the sore spot, bud.
But let's get into it. We got Lynx and Cassilis. We got a good matchup here.
That we do. I think Lynx with the spear pick might have a little bit of an advantage over Koslix's Roland pick. Koslix, I think, is going to be looking to use a lot of the down sigs on Roland's sword here. It's something we see out of Double Dime a lot, another prominent Roland player, and something we saw out of Boomy a lot when he used to play a lot of Sir Roland. Lynx throws out a lot of those side sigs, though, with spear here. I'm wondering if that's to kind of condition Koslix, or if it's just, you know, like side sigs.
I think Lynx is looking for a little bit of that conditioning. And you know what? We're also testing the waters. It's a little bit of both.
Right.
But Cassilis.
It's not gold lance play right there. It's a golden lance that he's playing with, but it's not gold lance play in the least. Racks up a lot of damage on Lynx very quickly with that golden lance.
Both of these players sitting in that red, nobody wanting to approach and be the first one to make a mistake. Lynx not going to get ledge guarded there. Cassilis doesn't want to fight those gauntlets. Lynx, no weapon, is going to find that spear safely. Cassilis still not going off the edge. Lynx does make it up. There's the 1-2 punch from the lance. Side light recovery. Lynx is going to lose that first stock, and we'll see what Cassilis can do. With this 8 defense, not a whole lot, unfortunately, defensive.
No, immediately knocked out with that side light into a recovery. Something that we see a lot out of gauntlets. Something that's not true anymore. Did Koslix burn his dodge there?
I don't think he did. I think he maybe just didn't dodge. I could be mistaken. It happened so fast.
Right, it's those 1-2 punches. We saw one from Koslix to knock out Lynx, and we saw one from Lynx to knock out Koslix. That's what constitutes diamond gameplay, I guess. Just sure things. You know, knowing what you can do in Brawlhalla to knock out your opponent and executing that.
I think we're seeing Lynx have a lot of trouble approaching this lance. He seems to be more trying to stuff Cassilis out. He's not really able to get his way in. Especially with that spear, which he seems to be favoring. He might not even want to try the gauntlets, and the gauntlets versus the sword, now that we're at that point, is a tough matchup here for Lynx.
That it is, especially since Koslix is playing smart and baiting Lynx into approach and then backing up and throwing out one of those down sigs or a side sig that takes up so much space. Koslix is able to knock out Lynx through the ground pound pit with a down air on sword, but we have things, at least for a minute, in Lynx's favor, just because he has a little bit more of a knockout potential in the early stock, but Koslix could completely shut down. But another side lane into recovery knocks out the 8 defense Sir Roland that Koslix has picked up here. This match is going really evenly, man.
It's very hard to predict the winner here. I think if nothing dramatic changes, Cassilis will just slowly take this win. But Lynx, he has more potential for a gimp. Neither player wanting to approach at all. Cassilis finally going to be the first one to do it. Lynx running away to the opposite side. Cassilis trying to poke at Lynx, trying to bait him in a little bit, but neither player here wants to engage at all. Cassilis finding a little bit of that poke damage. Lynx finally firing back. Now, this is almost reminiscent of the old EU days. Lynx! Really going off a little bit there, but not able to convert that into a kill. That's what he needs. He's having too much.
I want to point something out just very quickly. That recovery by Lynx directly into a ground pound was terrific movement to get above Koslix. That was extremely impressive. I thought that was great. I just had to interject. I'm sorry. Go back to your commentary as normal. Wow, I'm sorry, dude. That was just too cool.
You know, I'm glad you pointed it out because that's something to talk about. At a diamond level, wow, Lynx finding that signature and bringing that game back in the last stock. But before that unexpected knockout, as I was saying, I'm glad you pointed that out, defensive, and it's something you see that differentiates low diamond and high diamond players. Is that a perfection of movement and positioning.
Right, I'd like to watch that clip back if anybody has it. Just it looked as if he was like, I don't know, 5 to 15 pixels away from Koslix through the entire thing. Recovery and ground pound, and it worked out for him in the long run because he did finally get enough damage off onto Koslix to finally get that down sig on Spear and knock him out. Now we're going back in here on Man with Fortress this time. No character swaps in the matchup, but we do see Lynx playing like he did at the end of the first match here. He's playing a little bit further away from Kostlix. He's not going to be as aggressive. Because when he was aggressive on a Kostlix in the last match, he was punished. 100% hands down, he got punished in the last match when he approached. And he's being a little bit more wary this go around.
Yeah, Lynx is trying very hard to pick his battles carefully, pick his moments to go in very carefully. And I think after the ending of that last game, that whoever takes the first stock here is really going to slow the game down and play defensively. First stock of this second game is going to be the most important.
I 100% agree. We're seeing a wary gameplay from Lynx. He's on the left side of the map here, trying to get back and get some control with the spear here. He goes after those sides again. I guess he's just trying to see if Kostlix will double dodge through him. Signatures now, Blazing Joe, and pick up the second dodge, and he catches one there as Kostlix tries to get in. We've seen Kostlix very, very carefully throughout these neutral airs, punishing any approach that Lynx has. I think the neutral air might actually hit past a spear side air, and they're both just checking their mirror for any boogers or anything they have in their nose right now, just taking a look at each other, playing extremely patiently. And Lynx shows his booty off to Kostlix, like, hey, come hit me, I dare you, I dare you, I dare you.
Yeah, passed a good 10 seconds there, maybe 15, with no damage being dealt. Practically no moves coming out, but Lynx finding a nice little 1-2 combo there off the weapon throw into the recovery. And there's Kostlix overextending, Lynx punishing with a kill, and this is big trouble for Kostlix. He needs to find a way in and find a kill into Lynx here quickly to even this up and not just get chipped away. We're going to see Kostlix, I think, go aggressive here shortly. There's a neutral sig. Not going to be enough to kill. Kostlix needs more damage. Lynx has so much room to play with. As long as the Gimp doesn't come out, Lynx playing very safe and smart on the edge. Kostlix trying to find some damage, but he needs that knockout. Side air's not going to do it. We need a follow-up, but those are gauntlets from Lynx. And completely safe. Lynx just waltzes back. Kostlix down almost to full stock, and this is what we said, defensive, that first kill going Lynx's favor meant so much. Kostlix,
he made
lucky that he was able to finish Lynx off before losing his second stock.
Kostlix is a signature away from being knocked out. If he can't even up the damage here, he's in a lot of trouble going to his last stock before Lynx is even orange in his second. Both players on armor, and Lynx catches Kostlix trying to get through the soft platform with a breakdance, and he high-fives his sidekick one more time. I want to say that's Blitzcrank.
Blitzcrank is, he's from League of Legends. That's,
Craig?
No, he's like Mr. something. He has a fancy name, I think. Cogsworth.
That's right. Leave it to the E-Notes. Drop, you know, you got this, Drop. You got it on lock. I need to go study the Brawlhalla again for the next time I'm on Jeopardy. Both players on each side of the map again, and it seems like they're flirting with the ideas of being aggressive. Lynx finally goes in. Kostlix gets most damage out of that engagement, though. A side light into a side air picks up Lynx, and Lynx aggressing with a throw into a recovery into a side sig after a little bit of a mix-up and an early taunt. Could spell doom for Kostlix. That's it.
Lynx, some expert edge guarding there, hitting every sure thing, not missing anything, using his weapon effectively. And that's going to be a 2-0 for Lynx in what was a very, very close set.
It did look like Kostlix had... Oh no. Oh no.
Oh.
This is going to be another great match. I needed some time to cool down, man. Remy and Realize are both terrific players. And Realize already locking in with a Taros, a Mecha Taros at that, is going to have some presence, I'm sure.
You know, this could be a little one-sided for Remy.
We'll see who Remy picks up. Oh, no.
Random coming out of the gates for Remy.
I was thinking Nash, I was thinking Diana, I was thinking Cassidy, but random works. This is the second time we've seen someone pick up random in the tournament, ladies and gentlemen. And he gets Artemis. I wish that it showed your character level in that screen. So when someone picks random, you can ascertain what their playtime on the character is like.
I like that. That's a cool idea. Get BMG on the phone.
I think Slosh might be listening. He's got a word in BMG. I mean, he's kind of employed by him now, right?
Yeah, get Slosh on the phone. I'll call him.
All right. Remy gets more damage onto Realize. Realize probably once side sig lands on a GC and drop your prediction of this being one-sided in Remy's favor might come true, but don't count out Realize yet. He's only in red on his first stop.
You realize if he's able to get some more damage in, but that's going to be a kill. Remy, in about 30 seconds, using both the weapons. Realize looking like he's in some trouble. He needs to stop Remy just jumping in at him for free. I want to see some more of these hammer signatures from Realize. The down signature, the neutral sig. Let's see them.
Well, it seems like he got that one off, and he's trying to go for some more here. But Remy, realizing that, no Realize joke intended there, is kind of just spacing out, trying to stay away from that stomp hitbox on either side of Real, and he's doing well. A pick up gravity cancel side sig, extremely well executed by Remy. He's able to get a lot more damage on Realize here. Both players in red, but Realize on his second stop while Remy maintains his first. And a throw down into a weapon pickup gravity cancel neutral sig. I've never seen that option used in my life. Remy showing me new tech after 3,000 hours of being in the game. Granted, Site's only been around for, maybe 500 of those hours, but still, wow. Very well played, and a 3-stock in Remy's favor in this first match here, as Realize doesn't realize the amount of jumps he had in his arsenal, falls to his death.
Yeah, looking ugly in favor of Remy here. Maybe we'll see him switch out to one of his mains. I really hope we get to see him try hard in one. He's gonna stick with random.
Maybe he's saving it for later, man. Maybe he's just saving it for later.
Remy, of course, being a high-ranking player in circuit points himself, also in top 8.
I've actually got a little bit of information on Remy if you want me to pull it up.
I
wonder where I could have gotten that information from.
We can pull that up after this match. That sounds like your department there, defensive.
2, 1.
Back on Mammoth Fortress, Remy picking one of his old mains, Cassidy, up with the random. And he's thrown out a side head, unarmed, for no apparent reason, but quickly gets himself a hammer. He's gonna edge guard Realize here, trying to go for the ground pound after hitting. What?
Realize. Did he get his recovery stuff there? Did we not see it come out?
I think Remy just spooked him. I think Realize didn't know what he was doing on the edge against Remy. After a stomp into a throw into a attempted chase, weapon pickup, Remy just played mind games with Realize there. See Realize getting decent damage out on this fourth defense. Cassidy, a neutral sig whiffs on Remy's side. A ground pound on the soft platform is a great option to spook Realize. Why do I feel like Remy's just toying with him a bit?
I think Remy wants to have fun in this match. Realize, of course, is actually
he's done well in this match.
Moderator in the Brawl League Discord.
Is he?
He is. Very, very new. The newest moderator. And it's hard to see Remy just give him the works like that.
Are you reconsidering this pickup of Realize? Oh.
If you can't be the guy who's top 8 in your region in a tournament, you have no business moderating Discord chat. And
D-Mod, Realize we're sorry, bud. Brawl League's no longer your issue. You gotta vacate the premises. Remy going in with his own stomp neutral sig combination here, trying to get that lasso around Teros, tame the bull, but it hasn't worked for him quite yet. And a side air into a neutral light, attempted to go for the neutral sig, Realize racks up a good amount of damage on Remy, and if he plays consistently like he just did there, he might be able to eke out a match against this lower defense character that Remy's picked up. But nope. Never mind.
It's looking like one ledge guard here from Remy is going to be the game. One sig on the stage even could end it. And wow.
Well comboed by Remy with a down light into a dodge forward neutral sig.
That chase dodge forward was a great option from Remy. He knew going into that was going to kill him. That's just showing the level of experience he has on so many characters picking random. Mm-hmm. And at that health level, knowing to go for that option really shows you why Remy stands out.
Right, I think he did play Cassidy as a main. I might be misremembering because there's so many people that do extremely well in the circuit and switch mains.
If he didn't play Cassidy, he played with Boomy. who is very good at Cassidy. I believe LDZ is great at Cassidy. You know, there's no one here in the lobby. Do we have the permission to talk about Remy?
I don't know. I think that might be up to you. But I mean, since you know I'm in here, maybe we save it for later.
You never know. You never know. There's interesting announcements around every corner, defensive.
But we are waiting for our next match. Let me hop in to the Discord here. I think we have Sloshula lining it up for us as we have Expired holding it down lobby side on that new summer podium. Drop, what have you picked up from the Brawlhalla recently?
You know, I'm pretty cheap. I got all the skins I want on my main, multiple skins on Thatch, on Roland, but I don't deviate. I'm not one of these random players like Remy.
All right,
I got like 2 characters over level 30. 1,000 hours in the game.
That's respectable.
I don't branch out.
I understand that. I'm asking you this question. I haven't bought anything this summer either, but I've got plans to buy stuff. You know, I've got plans to buy it. I just haven't done it yet. But one thing that I have picked up is the summer avatar. Have you checked that out? The summer championship chip.
Yes. You know, I hear there might be some giveaways with those coming up. Just putting that out there. You never know.
I believe there's one on the Brawlhalla Twitter right now. You might have to scroll down a bit.
You know, I'm being, you know, what's the word here?
Are you foreshadowing something?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Being a little bit coy on what the topic purely is.
There you go.
All right.
So there might be, maybe.
So guys, make sure to check out Berthan's channel. Drops foreshadowing giveaways over there on Channel Day Bert. But we are waiting here for a little bit. We are looking for another match. I think we will bring up Remy's accomplishments, as I will be casting with Remy on the 22nd, I believe. And it should be a lot of fun. We're casting for Brawl Masters. I don't want to promote something else while doing something, but we're already here, right? We're already here. We're already in Brawl-A-PALOOZA, and I'm excited for the Brawlhalla community in general. Remy's already done well in this tournament, and he has done well in a bunch of other tournaments. BCS Summer Slam Week 1, he was in first place. He got third in BCX 2v2s last year, and he's done very well in the seasonal championships, being spring and winter so far. Look out for him.
Just talking about the seasonal championships, of course, BCX, that's the World Championship. The 2016 World Championship 2v2. Remy, 3rd place. That's only behind second place was LDZ.
And Stevenator.
And Stevenator. And first place, of course, being Starlight and Daiku.
Right.
Who Starlight and Daiku, international team. Again,
the only international team.
I don't believe that's true. I believe there was one other one.
Really?
Yes. I'm trying to remember who it was now, but they did not place top 8.
Was Kronk part of that team?
You know, I think it was somebody else.
Okay.
Somebody, at least one of the players, if not both, were fairly high ranked in their region. They just didn't have the consistent top 8 like LAN placements that some of these other guys had at Worlds.
Okay. Well, dude, speaking about BCX last year, just gets me even more pumped for BCX this year. You're going to be there, right?
I'm going to be there, and I'm bringing Annie Pop with me. I am excited for BCX. I'm excited for Worlds. Brawl League's coming. Yeah.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, back to the Brawlhalla. We have 2 great players here playing white and black. They got a little contrast here. Koos Baller and Enya playing here on Great Hall. Rob, you're familiar with these 2 people, aren't you?
Only vaguely. I know I've seen Enya play. Not as familiar with Koos. But Enya with the bird bar looking really strong. Here could be a sword dip. Dodge isn't going to be enough. Ground pound for a little bit extra. Enya coming out swinging. That's a big lead.
That's a huge lead. That's an entire stock almost. Wow. I'm familiar with Koos Baller. He's been in my streams. He's been on the channel. And I actually met at BCX last year. But most notably, I've been meeting him in ranked 1v1 recently. He's one of those guys who keeps on 3-stocking me, man. So I'm looking forward to him bringing that potential that I know he has with these gauntlets out. With read. Gravity cancel side light, catching Enya up, but not doing too much with it, just racking up orange damage on Enya. He's attacking now, side light, trying to go into a side stick, not quite hitting it. Missing that ground pound. Enya dominating with a sword, missing a wall-hugged ground pound. Anytime I see gauntlets over edge, I think they're gonna win.
That's a dodge burned. There's no recovery. Just dodge. Ground pound. Gonna keep Kussballer on the stage there. That was very close. Enya almost found that kill. And a bad signature there from Kussballer. He's gonna be punished by Enya. That's a big lead made bigger defensive.
Maybe Enya's way better than Kus, and Kus is way better than me, but we won't talk about how much better Enya is than me. Back on the edge. Drop, we see Enya still with his sword. Do you think we're going to see any hammer out of him in this matchup?
If you're Enya, why even bother? The sword's dominating the matchup for you. Don't fix what ain't broke. I don't think there's a reason Enya needs to try and make the hammer work.
You've got a good point there. Unless he just picks up the hammer and starved of a sword, there's no reason for him to use it. He picks it up here, goes for a side light, side air rather, and
oh!
He didn't want the hammer. He didn't want the hammer. That's all it was.
Enya making some kind of a mistake there, and that could turn this whole game on its head. Enya did look pretty good here in the matchup, but Kussballer could find a quick gimp with these Katars, although he's in that red health now, and Enya going to be looking to secure this game on.
We see Enya having Kussballer back over the edge. That side air sent him flying. Kus, the side air of his own, sends Enya against the wall, but Enya's not damaged enough for it to really do much. And a simple side air will put Kussballer off the right side of the map and give Enya the first match of the set. I don't know what happened there dropping that second stock, but I hope it doesn't happen again in match number 2.
It seemed like Enya just making a little mistake, maybe thinking that it touched the edge, and it just didn't happen.
It's possible, man. Honestly, it looked like he just let go of his controls. I didn't look at his character close enough to see if he had grayed out. You know?
Like he turned, like something in real life distracted him, like away from his game.
Like his cat knocked over his lamp or something, or his hot pockets. You know, the microwave dinged. I don't know. Not a sponsor. Going into match 2, Kussballer has picked up Diana. He's got that similar guns in this kit, but bow is completely different. Maybe gauntlets weren't quite doing it for him last match, and his Diana pick, Black Diana, he's at least level 25 on mana, is a little bit more of his comfort alley right now.
I like the blaster pick, and at the start here, it's looking like it might do some work versus Enya. Enya was able to bully his way in with the sword in that first matchup. And the blasters might be exactly what Kus needs to keep Enya out. But here's trouble again. Sword Gimp potential. Recovery stop. That's going to do it for Enya.
It's like closed beta all over again. Sword, please. Downlights, ground pounds. Danger close, ladies and gentlemen. Beware of Sword de Bodvar. Enya picks up a lot of damage here as he picks up a sword on his on Kussballer's second stock. A down stick interrupted by a neutral light on sword, and Enya is running away with this match. Drop. What would you do in this situation with bow? How would you play against Enya and his aggressive sword?
I would throw the bow away and grab the blasters. That was working just fine. Kus just lost in that center. Oh my, wow. Kus able to...
Wow! A snipe! Who'd have thought
That's the 3-piece.
That was pretty clean. What was that? Down air, side sig, weapon toss?
I think that's right. The side sig weapon toss were the last 2 pieces. I think it all started there.
I think it might have. Kussballer definitely got some swag points for that, some style points. Oh no!
Oh.
Burns all of his jumps, head bonks on the platform, and he gets ground pounded by Enya. That was just an over-aggression by Kus.
Kussballer is letting himself lose this match by going into that shenanigan zone to fight. That just needs to stop.
Agreed. I think he needs to play way smarter and make sure that he has his options when he needs them. And he 100% didn't need to aggress on Enya while Enya was in the pit. I mean, Kus is behind, and that's some dangerous territory. We've seen a couple times now that Enya's just completely taking stocks off of Kussballer with the sword quickly low like that. Downlight, side air, bread and butter combo for the sword. Another one comes out. Kussballer is close to death, and Enya missing a Sair, gets back to the platform. Koosballer catches him with a downlight. But Koos is playing slowly now.
It's only a matter of time here until Enya is able to take this set 2-0. Koosballer surely can't make this comeback. This is too big of a deficit, and there's that shenanigans zone. That's how he lost his other 2 stocks. Recovery is going to bring him up to safety, but Enya's recovery is going to spell death. That's the 2-0 for Enya. Koosballer.
They both played well, but Enya definitely played better. Obviously, he won both matches by 2 stocks. Well, would have been 2 stocks in the first match, but there was a little bit of that hiccup. They both played very well, and speaking of playing very well, we have a doctor in the lobby, ladies and gentlemen, and we all know doctors are the masters of their craft.
Dr. Faison himself, Smash Josh Gaming. I'm not familiar with Smash Josh, but it's the Lord Vrax.
I think
Defensive.
Smash
It is
Josh
Lord
Gaming
Vrax.
is that Brightly under a different name?
Oh, I hope to God that it is defensive.
He's level 58 on Vrax. I feel like I should recognize that name, Smash Josh Gaming.
It's Brightly. He heard what you said.
Is it indeed him?
I'm guessing yes.
This is blowing me away. I feel like this might be Brightly, but in my experiences, Brightly's picked up the same skin but in red. I didn't know he owned black on this.
It could be a new development.
Maybe he's just rebranding, you know?
Yeah. It has some red in it. It just does black too.
Yeah, I guess. It is Brightly, I think. I read my own message as if it was someone else's, and I thought it was confirmation. Never mind. Dr. Faison going in with Lucian's guitars and blasters with the strength stance, and Smash Josh Gaming with a platinum border. You know, we were ruminating earlier about the fact that I think you're stuck with your highest tier border. I don't think you get to choose back and forth. So maybe this isn't Brightly. Maybe it's just another high-level Vrax main.
We'll have to see. At the start of the game, he's holding his own against Dr. Faison quite well. And Faison, kind of one of the up-and-comers right now in the scene. He's been, competing forever, and he's occasionally takes a game off of a well-known good player, but he's not one of those consistent top 8 guys who you expect to win circuit events. But recently, more and more, he's getting closer to those top 8s, or occasionally pulling some out. I think he's really someone to watch over the next few months leading up to Worlds. He's someone who gets a big improvement in.
He does play a lot of 2v2s as well. I think that's what he's better known for, is for playing 2v2s. I know I see him all the time playing against Crocky and Doppy, right? He seems to always be in the ranked ladder, just waiting to take a couple of points elo off the Koala Man himself. And a down sig seals the first stock for Dr. Faison. Very well placed, getting that max range and that huge hitbox that spreads over the very far edge of the map. Dr. Faison playing very well here.
Yeah, Faison running away with this game. A full stock ahead right now. The guitar's doing work. Faison doesn't quite get the kill. Signature is punished.
Looking like old guitars, almost the way he's able to string together those attacks. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'll assure you none of these are true combos. They are dodge reads and another down sig as Smash Josh goes far over the edge. Dr. Faison doing extremely well in this match. Only 2 minutes deep, not even. He's able to pick off 2 stocks on Smash. And this could be, again, a single nair to ground pound. Not going to happen. Smash gets a recovery on Dr. Faison, not quite enough to knock him off the top. He recovers his blasters, and Dr. Faison looks unfazed as he's taking back map control, dodging and trying to hit side airs and neutral airs on Smash.
And Faison, is that, I believe that was the recovery interrupted. I'm not sure if Smash had it back, but that's going to be the easy dodge read. Smash able to make it back. Faison, 3-stock opportunity blown. Smash going to cheer in joy there. No 3-stock happening. Faison looking to close this game out now and go up 1-0 in this set.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Smash actually would have lost just then in a few versions of Brawlhalla ago. Just in the last few months, BMG added a tech to the game. It keeps your momentum on the edge when you dodge against a wall. He dodged into the bevel underneath Shipwreck and got himself up onto the actual wall to recover his jumps there. Dr. Faison still won, but I'm just pointing that out. If you guys see someone underneath the bevel, dodge into it, they'll slide upwards now with their dodge. But Dr. Faison takes the first match of the set, and we jump into the second one. No character swaps here, unless Smash Josh wants to go white Frax instead of black Frax. An interesting pick, you know. Go from black Frax to white Frax. I don't. Maybe he's feeling more yin than yang tonight.
You know, I'm looking at the bracket right now.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive. I just brought it up in between matches.
Is
it
it
looks
right?
like one top 32 bracket includes LDZ and LZD. They might be waiting for us. They might be playing. I don't know, but it's happening. But right now, Dr. Faison versus Smash Josh Gaming is what's happening.
I'm gonna have to talk to Slosh after this and just make sure that he's not doing that on purpose. Because if we cast that matchup again, or if that matchup happens later in the tournament, that's definitely Slosh's doing. There's no way. There's no way that LZD and LDZ end up in the same bracket 2 tournaments in a row, unless they're like crafting their circuit points to make it so.
You know, if that's just where they line up based on the people who are generally attending the circuits and playing, it's not that unreasonable. But Dr. Faison right now looking to run away with maybe a perfect stock.
We'll see here. Maybe the white switch wasn't the one. Maybe he needs the black racks in his life. But the down sig that we saw so many times in the first match again seals the stock for Dr. Faison. But he takes his first tick of damage there as he picks up the blasters. Josh gets that salty side light. No JV4 rather, for Faison here. Blaster V
Still looking very strong in this game. Big gravity cancel from Faison. Gravity cancel D-Light recovery. Smash looking a little run over in this game. Looking like he's losing all of his steam. Dr. Faison, what a combo.
A great patient play from Dr. Faison to catch the recovery he knew was coming out from Smash Josh with a down light into ground pound, a true combo at that damage, and a guaranteed knockout if the ground pound hits your opponent over edge. Faison with another down sig, a side air, has Smash trying to recover for his life here, and ladies and gentlemen, I think that might be it. A clean gift and a clean 3 stock in a minute and 40 seconds. Faison showing his worth.
It's a 30 damage game defensive.
We don't have to mention that out loud. We want Smash Josh to have a name for himself, right? We don't want him to be memed as a 30 damage man.
Fair enough. I'm not saying I do a whole lot better against the man himself, but look at this. We were talking about Fable Esports earlier. Here's Isidru. And there's Crocky of Vex.
Again, we were just talking about Crocky. It seems like they're answering our call to them, dude.
Here are 2 players that have some history with the game. Crocky especially. Vex Gaming, Crocky and Doppy, to me, are kind of like the iconic North American team.
You know, Crocky, I think, was the first sponsored player for Brawlhalla, and has been with Vex since that sponsorship. Yeah, I think Renacentia was picked up by Vex, and Crocky was their headline player, and he's picking up his rank 1 ADA.
And looking at the brackets defensive, we will have Wrenched and Wilson coming up. Noel is also in top 32. We're not sure who his opponent is just yet. But as for this match, we might see some spear mirroring. Isidru and Crocky both have that spear. We're going to see if they want to keep them. Crocky, really known for his play-away game with this spear with that Ada. His signature character, his signature skin even, that DJ Ada, that's the Crocky. I think we all know it.
It is the Crocky that we all know and love. The Crocky that we see stream almost every night over on twitch.tv/KoalaCrocky. He's now affiliated with a sub button, ladies and gentlemen. Check him out. Isidru playing extremely well, but Crocky's just edging him out here. He's got Crocky has Isidru deep in red. Crocky's only in orange himself, but with that 3 defense on 8, I think he stands up to 4. We'll see him rack up damage a lot faster. 2 recoveries from Isidru will put Crocky into deep red. And Crocky on arm now is in a bad situation.
First kill could very easily go either way. Crocky finds it with the unarmed sidelight. Isidru just not really expecting that, getting caught out. And blasters versus axe. This could be very tough for Isidru. Crocky playing Ada fast enough to keep that distance on even the brand. And it's going to be really tough to get in on these hitboxes. Actually, not able to connect.
Not able to connect. I think that might be due to Crocky's knowledge of the dodge circles of Brawlhalla. He spaces out Istridru's side sig perfectly, catches him with a neutral light on blasters here, and that jump into immediate dodge back to the ground is such an interesting movement option from Crocky. It just mixes up, wow. It mixes up your opponent's, concept of how you move. That recovery catching Istridru's ground pound was extremely close. It seemed like the very first frame of the second tick of that recovery is what interrupted the ground pound. Well placed by Crocky, well timed. Istru was able to catch a stock there. We're back to even and back to spear versus spear. Crocky with the bread and butter.
This is where Crocky's really shining. The blasters, while I think they should be stronger in this matchup, maybe on paper, it's not what we're seeing from Crocky, and the side lights coming out from both players. Crocky's still with the damage lead, but we saw how quickly Istru can close that gap.
Right, both of these players relying heavily on momentum on the approach to get their damage, to get their hits off. Istru now on the right side of the map. It's a side air just peeking over the edge. Matt Crocky trying to go for the down, so quickly punished by a down air of Istru. Istru going high with the neutral air. Guarding Crocky from a weapon, a side sig, whiffs. Istru whiffing again with a side sig. Crocky is just able to move around Istru as if he knows exactly what Istru is going to do each and every time.
And this is just like the first stock of this game. Crocky had a big lead. He wasn't able to close the kill, and Istru looking to take the advantage here, and I think that spells disaster for Crocky if Istru takes this next stock.
Crocky dancing in air is caught by Istru's recovery, and Istru has the lead here as we go into the 5th minute of the match. Ladies and gentlemen, Crocky's playing carefully up high with his spear and gets back on the ground and quickly down sigs for the knockout. We got snow stocks, ladies and gentlemen, as if the slates are clear and we're playing a sudden death, one stock apiece. So Crocky's gonna have to be very careful here, as we've seen Istru take the advantage throughout the entire match.
Crocky has a slight damage lead right now, but it is so insignificant. One big hit, one big meaty axe hit from Istru. And this could be evened up very quickly. Crocky just picking and chipping away at Istru's health. And this is what's working for him. Istru in frustration maybe picking up that spear, and Crocky, this is what he wants. Istru playing right into Crocky's hands.
They're both.
Are we gonna see Istru hold this stock for way too long, and Crocky just can't find the knockout?
Spear doesn't have any knockout options, man. Don't you know this? Don't you know this? One of Crocky's most famous quotes from back in the day. Crocky sacrificed a lot of time to Istru, and he's taking a lot of damage. The spear recovery isn't quite enough for the knockout, but Istru misses his throw, but another down sig for Crocky will take Istru up as he tries to get in on Crocky. And ladies and gents, we see Crocky taking the first match of the set.
Crocky looking very, very good on that last stock. He was able to close it out in time, and didn't let Istru just catch up for no reason. If we can see more of that, I think Crocky wins this. Otherwise, Istru will take the set back.
Right, we're going to Blackguard Keep. It's definitely a different map from Mammoth Fortress. A lot of different options here with that high platform in the middle. We'll probably see them probably lose a weapon or two trying to shuffle things up there. It's something that bothers me a lot, trying to shuffle a weapon. That platform just always seems to be there. Istru picks up the axe first. Crocky dodging away, but not getting hit at all. Perfect movement from the Crockmeister as he picks up his blasters here, and he's going to try to return some fire. Istru racking up high damage on the Crocky very quickly with that axe.
Yeah, Istru really controlling the space here, really controlling center stage.
Crocky going high with those nairs. Takes a lot of property of the map. Push the edge. Istru could kill him here with a down air or a side sig. That's exactly what he does. Catches a side sig and sends Crocky wayward. Only in yellow on his first stock. We saw it there. Istru lost his axe to the top platform.
Istru is in full control of this match. It's incredible what Blackguard did, switching up, making the two players play up and down more than left to right. And Istru is able to control so much space, but Crocky firing back quite literally with those guns. That's going to be a knockout.
Was that back-to-back recovery? Obviously, knockout was the recovery. I think it was a recovery that racked up damage to make that a kill.
Yeah.
Crocky playing well with guns. He plays well on guns, plays well with spear. We'll see if he's able to outspear Istru here. As they're dueling again, it seems like they're going to be going back and forth these side lights, a great option to defeat someone to kind of close in that neutral zone. But it seems like Crocky can answer back with some side lights of his own here. EasternMediaGG gets in with the down light. Side air follow-up, misses a second side air. Crocky in with the neutral air. EasternMediaGG catches him up with a recovery. Crocky really needs to play smart here as he does have a damage deficit. He's getting sigged at with a higher force character in Bryn. I think Bryn's signature kit is a little bit more, a little easier to hit, a little longer or further reaching, and a little bit more force heavy than Ada's kit. He whiffing that side light. EasternMediaGG whiffing a side sig, but Crocky's able to answer back with his own side sig. But we see there, 100% Bryn's side sig would have knocked out Crocky. But 2 side sigs from Crocky isn't enough to knock out EasternMediaGG.
If Crocky's just not able to find this kill, and like I said, that's what is going to give EasternMediaGG an option to win this game. Crocky, Sarah, not quite going to do it. EasternMediaGG just clinging to life. And Crocky, I'd like to see him play more aggressively in those ledge guards to try and close EasternMediaGG out. I feel like he's playing too passively, afraid to close these kills. And look at that unarmed side light almost getting the kill. It does, but Crocky should not be relying on that for his kill option. There are better choices with Ada. And I think we could see Crocky having a lot more efficiency in this matchup if he could just find those kills sooner.
Hopefully he can here. He's back with his spear. EasternMediaGG with that axe. Dangerous, as he could get a knockout with another recovery here. I'm surprised that recovery right then wasn't enough to knock him out. The side air isn't enough to lock it up, and we're on 1 stock apiece in the last match. We saw EasternMediaGG not able to close it out. Crocky just played better when he was backed against the wall. When he had 1 stock, he was able to edge out a little bit better than EasternMediaGG and take the match. We'll see if Crocky's a little bit more laid-back play style, a little further back play style, is able to get him a win here. Covers safely the edge. EasternMediaGG answers with a down air, but doesn't follow up. They're both dancing around. Every hit is about 3 seconds apart, but they are consistent. EasternMediaGG coming in with that side light, down light, Sair. Crocky almost a kill percentage now.
Things are not looking so good for Crocky. EasternMediaGG, I imagine, will want to try and pick up that axe. The spear matchup is just going to let Crocky come back into the game. He needs that kill option to finish Crocky off, and EasternMediaGG, free option for the axe right now, but he's going to opt not to take it, and I don't know if I agree with that. He's stuck in the spear mirror now for a little bit longer. Signature not going to connect. Crocky looking very confident right now. Dodge circles, like you said. Down sig coming out from the big Crocster himself, and that's a 2-0.
That's very impressive. That same movement that we saw earlier, the jump into an immediate dodge back down to the ground, gave Crocky the opportunity to throw out that down sig, which worked for him so well in the first match. Well played by Crocky. Well played by Crocky. That was impressive. I thought he was going down in both matches, to be completely honest. Drop, I think we are looking for Wrenched and Wilson up next.
That's what I was just about to ask. Wrenched and Wilson. I throw in post upper plan as well. Wrenched, I
think they're both playing guitars right now, aren't they?
Wrenched and Wilson, I believe you might be correct.
I think we're going to see Ember and Ragnar, a lore matchup almost, both from the Thang Wild. If I'm remembering correctly, there's the Ragnar from Wilson, and Wrenched will he? No, I was going to say he's going to pick up the Jingle Kringle Ember. Instead, picks up Hunter Ember.
Well, it's Ember.
Yeah, but it's not his signature Ember, man. I mean, that's what I come to expect from someone. It's like LDZ playing Purple Taros. What? Huh? Why? When? Who? What? Where? But we do see both these players from Fable going toe-to-toe. Wilson with the speed stance on Ragnar and Wrench with the defense stance on Ember. We're going to see a lot of guitars in this, I think. And I think Wilson might actually have the advantage. Wilson's a very patient player, and Wrenched is normally someone that tries to dictate the pace of a match. I think we might see Wrench try to go super aggro, and Wilson's going to be able to kind of counter that with his patience. He's going to be able to back off, punish Wrench, convince Wrench that he can't play as aggressively and as quickly as he normally does. But as soon as I say that, Wrench gets a good clip of unarmed damage onto Wilson, which is quickly answered by Wilson's axe.
Wilson has been known for a long time of being so very difficult to approach. But Wrenched has really kind of shown that he can get in with those guitars and make them work against the best in the world. Wilson might have trouble dealing with Wrenched's aggression.
He picks up guitars of his own, though, and Wilson goes in with the neutral stick, which catches Wrench, throws him to the right side of the map. Both players now playing a little bit of footsies with the guitars here. Wrench getting the damage out on Wilson with two nairs, trying to go for the side sig. Wilson not playing into Wrench's game. We see a clash there mid-map, and Wilson with a down sig, almost knocking Wrench off the top. Wilson guarding the weapon, switching over to the axe now. Wrench is going to have to play very carefully. He's in kill percentage. Something that worked for Crocky, a side lane, not working for Wrench here. He's trying to challenge Wilson for this weapon. Two dodge throughs, punished by a down air. Wilson caught up by a recovery on Wrench. Wrench puts himself a bow and a side sig. Ash, the wolf, helping Ember out, helping Wrench out with that knockout. Wrench taking the first knock of the match.
He's going to opt for those guitars once again. Gotta say I agree with that. It's what we know him for. Wilson not quite able to make that throw combo work, and Wrench getting a little bit of damage in, pushing inside. Wilson needs to find that kill. And one other thing Wilson has always struggled with, even since his Queen Nai days, is securing those kills. He gets to that point of looking for the sig, relying on that too much, and if he's not able to find one on Wrench, 2 sigs in a row punished, 3 from Wilson. And this could be the classic Wilson stopping block that has really prevented him from being a consistent top 8. He just can't finish these kills off.
Something else that's characteristic of Wilson is when he's down by a stock or up by a stock, his gameplay changes significantly. He drops the neutral there. We see him get the knockout with the weapon toss. He drops neutral game a little bit and kind of sets back and goes for absolute damage. Punishes approaches and goes for 1-2 hit true combos and, you know, readable things, right? But we're not seeing it here as Wrenched. The neutral stick almost gets a knockout on Wilson. I said earlier, oh no. Wilson, the ground pound. Yazid, man.
The ground pound, yeah, that's the one that makes it go down, not up. Unfortunate there, input mistake maybe from Wilson, unless it was something else we missed. And Wrenched, he's sitting pretty right now to win this.
That he is. Wilson goes for an errant neutral stick, something that definitely couldn't have hit unless Wrenched decided to jump above him. And as we've seen, Wrenched is extremely smart, and when he does go over, his opponent goes way high, clearing that fiery breath of Ragnar. Wilson catching with a neutral light, getting a little bit of damage on Wrench second stock, but it's going to have to be more than this if Wilson wants to take this first match of the set.
It's Wrench's ability to follow up these hits he's getting with the bow. It's just so incredible, and from a well-known guitar player, it really shouldn't be surprising. Wilson down about a full stock right now. Wrench looking to close this out. If you can do it with 2 stocks, you know he's feeling good moving into the next game.
That he is. Wilson going for more of those errant sigs, huge hitboxes, knockout potential galore. But when you're playing against someone like Wrenched, he knows the character that you're playing almost as good as Ember, and he spaces out of those signatures. You just can't hit him with them. Wilson goes deep on edge for the ground pound, and Wrench is able to go low and avoid it. Wilson forced to go to the opposite side of the map as Wrench had the advantage on the right side. Wilson looking for a knockout still. Wrench playing patiently. A side sig punishes the startup frames of a side sig from Wilson. Wrench takes the first match by 2 stocks.
There was one of those slightly predictable sigs coming out from Wilson. Wrench had that hard read. He threw a side sig of his own. Wilson too desperately looking for those sigs to secure kills.
Which is a shame. I'd really love to see Wilson play to what I think his potential is in this match, and I do think he can beat Wrenched if he shuts down Wrench's aggression. It does seem like Wilson's trying to play his tried and true, patient, you know, huge hitbox strategy of, you know, you move in on me, I'm going to catch you up in a move and knock you down. Wrench just seems to dance around him. Wrench seems to dodge the first attack that Wilson throws out and then get 2 or 3 attacks to punish it. And Wilson's just shutting down at that. Maybe Wrench hasn't been sparring Wilson as much in the Fable, you know, custom lobbies that I'm sure go on every night. But we're seeing Wrench again pick up early damage in this second match.
You know, Wrench is just, he's been looking so strong one line lately. Excuse me, defensive. Wilson, of course, won, if I'm not mistaken, the Brawl League hosted Road to Combo Breaker by Fable. So that was Fable sending Wilson to Combo Breaker to compete. It's really been his most notable performance recently, I suppose, is that. Wrench, though, being a top 8 circuit point player,
there's definitely
he can do it consistently.
Right. Wilson has been playing the game for a long time. We talked about his Nye days. That was way back when Gravy was up and coming, and he won quite a few Gravy cancels. But apart from the Road to Combo Breaker, like you said, he hasn't won anything that really stands out. But we see that he's been able to keep this match even against Wrench, both players early on their second stock here. Wilson playing patiently on the edge, throwing out that down sig. Wrench getting back on the platform. I think it might come down to the fact that Wrench has movement speed a couple points beyond Ragnar's, right? The Ember's speed is definitely, helping him dance around Wilson the way he is. And the understanding of the recovery frames on his moves. Wrench is able to throw out 2-3 moves in a time that one person throws out 1 or 2 because he understands what he can do after hitting a down light or a side light or a recovery. And Wilson just, maybe he's too conditioned to casual gameplay. Neutral Sig up high is able to knock out Wrench there. And Wilson in this match has the lead, 2 minutes deep.
Yeah, this is Wilson really looking impressive in game 2. He's able to make a lot of adjustments. We're not seeing him spam those signatures. We're seeing the very slow, calculated Wilson gameplay where he dictates the pace, and that's what he needs to do to win. Wrench, at this point, is soon going to have to start thinking about game 3.
Wilson's going to have to do a lot to win in game 3 because I feel like Wrench might be able to come back with some added ferocity. But he's definitely looking good in this match here. Misses a down sig there. Wrench aggressing with a side air. Wrench is playing carefully. Wrench is taking a book out of Wilson's, taking a page out of Wilson's book, taking a book out of Wilson's library maybe, and playing patiently as he's down a stock here. But Wilson, with that neutral sig, that Dragon's Breath, is able to get a stock knock and win the second match.
Yeah, that's Wilson looking very good. Wrench faltering a little bit in game 2 from what we saw in game 1, or Wilson just majorly stepping it up.
I'm wondering if anybody's keeping account on Wrench nares. I don't think Wrench is naring enough on guitars. I think that's maybe why he lost that second match there.
We need more nares.
I think we need a lot more nares. But we'll see.
There's nothing wrong with the nair 12.
You can get 100-0 with nairs. I've seen it done. Not to me, of course. No one has a clip of that anywhere. But going into this third match, this will kind of decide the set. Decide which Fable member is going to be moving forward here in the upper bracket. Wilson showed that he just needed a little time to warm up. Maybe he takes this match by my 3 stocks. We can't know for sure.
And I'm peeking at the bracket right now. LDZ lost to LZD. We don't have to cast that one. Defensive.
Oh, really?
We're free.
I'm glad
2-0 over Kelpo, which is maybe to be expected. I throw him post up, still waiting, but we're in Wrenched and Wilson right now. And at the start of this game, Wrenched looking strong, very strong with those guitars. Wilson,
there's the name. Wilson brought down into deep orange, early red, very quickly by Wrench there.
Now, the question here is, can Wrenched keep this pressure up? Is Wrenched going to be able to convert this into a kill? There it is. Wilson, not even 30 seconds in, dropping that first stock, and Wrenched is mostly unscathed. Wilson needs to dramatically change something now. Where was that Wilson from game 2?
Wow. Yeah, seriously, Wilson needs to bring it back. Wrenched definitely, taking charge in that first stock. I said it very, very early into these matches, I think. Wrenched shines when he's controlling the momentum of a match, controlling the pace. He slows it down, he speeds it up when he needs to. The beginning of this match was extremely, extremely quick, and it seems like he's lost that momentum as, in a 30-second period of time, he got a knockout, and the next 30 seconds, he got knocked out, and the match almost looks even again. I think Wrench just needs to find a consistent pace that he's comfortable with if he's going to play this matchup against Wilson's guitars.
And, you know, as we're talking about this pace slowing down, pace changing, that's when we're seeing Wilson start to shine here. At 30 seconds in, it looked so convincingly wrenched. But now Wilson's brought it back not only to even, but slightly into his favor.
Right, as he's getting wrenched deeper and deeper into the orange here, it looks like he could get a knockout. That side sig just short of hitting Wrench. Wrench now playing really slow, playing far back with the bow here, not really aggressing. He catches a down light onto Wilson, but it was ages after Wilson hit that down sig, as if he was baiting out a follow-up from Wilson after he whiffed. Wrench has to be careful getting back to the platform here. As he touches, Wilson hits him with a ground pound. Wilson doesn't go for the deep down airs. I'm surprised, but you know, sometimes patient heads prevail, and maybe the side stick that he's going to throw out in a minute here. The lock on
We're seeing a lot of mistakes come out from Wrench right now. A very different Wrench than we saw in game one. The signature's going to miss. Wilson not quite punished.
There's that side stick, doesn't make contact. A side stick from Wrench this time, not enough.
We're seeing the tournament nerves come out for both players here. Wrench not canceling that spot dodge with an attack, not punishing Wilson. The telegraphed ground pound's gonna hit. Wrench doesn't even try to avoid that. No dare coming out, and Wilson's gonna take the lead.
Wilson's gonna take the lead, but he is deep in red. There's a possibility that Wrench brings this back, but there's another possibility that Wilson just takes the match by the horns and carries himself to victory here. He just needs one stock of a Wrench to take the entire set. Wrench with an errant side zig. Wilson easily punishing with a down air. Nair's coming up from Wilson. He's definitely taking control of this match. Wrench playing very, very slowly around his opponent, only getting a couple hits here and there.
The side sig's gonna do it for Wrench, and this game is not out of his grasp just yet. Wilson in the guitar mirror here. I think that this is where he might have some trouble. We were seeing more success with that axe. Wrench starting to give out some free guitar hits here to Wilson. That's a lot of damage connecting from Wrench. Huge strings coming out.
It's looking like that first 30 seconds again drop. It's looking good.
This is Wrench playing comfortably without fear, and that's what he needs to do. If Wilson's able to put Wrench into the red, I think we're going to see a more scared Wrench come out, and he's not going to go for these hard reads, these big risky strings, and that's what he needs to do to beat Wilson. He needs to not be too afraid to go in and try. Right now, Wrench!
Wow!
Huge play.
Player 2
Huge
wins.
momentum dodge coming out, chase dodge, side air on the guitars. Wilson almost able to bring that game back, and what a showing from Fable Esports.
Very well played by both players, down to the last stock on each. That you were just saying that Wrench isn't going for those big strings he needs to win the match with, and then boom, big string wins the match as he chased Wilson off the right side of the map with that momentum dodge side air. Very well played by both players. Fable Esports definitely doing well. I do want to point out that Wilson missed that guitar ground pound seemingly by pixels at the end there.
It seemed like Wrench was comfortable that that would not hit him. How long he clung to the wall.
Right. I was very impressed by the near miss there. Ladies and gentlemen, this next match, this next set, we have Post Up versus I Throw. That is as many O's as you're going to get from me. I Throw and Post Up on Shipwreck. Two great players. I Throw most notably getting second place at Combo Breaker recently against Noel, and then I think winning a qualifier for BCS, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you might be right. He's a top 8 circuit point player. He was just recently tied with Stevenator. I don't know if they still are or not. I believe for 5th.
Okay.
So we've seen a lot of success out of iThrow, and I think that's very recent success. With these upcoming tournaments, this one that we're casting now with Masters coming up, with World Championships coming up, I'm really curious to see how guys like iThrow will do and stack up against kind of the tried and true NA players. The guys like LDZ, like Boomy, and LDZ apparently has been knocked out of winner's bracket in this tournament by, like I said, none other than LZD himself.
Right, we have seen people make the run back through lower, and we've seen LDZ do it before as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him in top 8 even with the loss in pools here. iThrow might get the first knock on the post up. Both of these players deep in red. Post up back to the map, throwing out a down sig as iThrow takes the position on the edge and a neutral sig. Will it be enough with the toss of the gauntlets? It is iThrow knocked out first. Post up showing up very well in this match.
Yeah, that's a very impressive job they're recovering from post up with the gauntlets to kind of bait iThrow and find those signatures. But iThrow is going to find that knockout on the post up very quickly.
I've seen a lot of people playing Hammer do that more recently. A gravity cancel down air into a jump side air. Down light into side air. It's impressive. It looks fancy, you know. But as these things get played out, as these different moves, these different styles get played out in tournaments, they're more and more likely to find their way into the competitive 1v1 scene, ranked 1v1 scene, and they kind of become regular. It's kind of like punishing a ground pound over edge with a sword downlight into a ground pound. It's something that that we saw Boomy do first, I think, a long time ago, and maybe Taiba before that even. And it has become a norm. And I've seen more and more Hammer players do that since iThrow popped onto the scene with it recently.
Yeah, we definitely see tournament play emulated on the ranked ladder. This is a community where the people who really care and who are good at the game, who rank high, tend to watch the tournaments. They tend to talk to each other, to share ideas. But iThrow right now, he's sharing an idea with Post Up, and he says, I want to win this match. That's a big lead for iThrow. We kind of glanced over that first stock because it was so close. But Post Up falling a bit behind in this matchup.
Right, we see iThrow taking back the momentum of the match with the Nair into a recovery. Does extremely well to get early damage on the post up. Post up with a throwdown into weapon pickup side sig. Doing well to continue racking up damage on the iThrow's second stock. He needs to do that and more here as he's behind by a stock. The deeper and deeper into the red he gets, the less likely it is he's able to pull this match out. Trying to get that side sig over edge, not landing at iThrow on stage, ready to pick him up with a downlight side air. Post up with a side sig, doesn't quite make contact. iThrow just barely dodging. Post up's neutral sig. Back on the stage now. iThrow still with the sword. Post up unarmed, gets a side air on the iThrow and recovery that could and does knock out. We're even on one stock, but post up is deep in the red.
Yeah, Post Up is gonna need a gimp here pretty much, or a perfect stock if he wants to beat iThrow. It's gonna be really hard. What I think we're seeing right now is kind of the difference between mid-high diamond players and tournament players. Post Up here has a reasonable chance, like he could take a game off iThrow, but this is slightly more consistently going iThrow's favor. He's the safe bet. But Post Up's putting up a good fight.
Post Up did play well. He got the first stock off, but he does need to play consistently throughout the entire match.
It's the consistency of a player like iThrow who has that experience. That's what matters.
Exactly. We see Post Up switching over to Ragnar in the second match. We're back on Shipwreck Falls with the shortest walls, or Shipwreck Falls. Sorry, with the shortest walls in all of Brawlhalla. Well, we'll see how the edge guards work here.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
Spawning in, iThrow gets the first weapon, picks up his hammer, guarding the weapon spawn. Post up, but it didn't seem like he was trying to pick up the weapon at first. He was kind of jumping around.
It looked like he was trying to bait there, but iThrow not leaving himself vulnerable. Defensive. It's a hard thing to say, but
Words are tough.
This Post Up character change. What do you think about this? It seems to be working out in a big way for him.
I've played against Post Up a lot, and he definitely has a wide range of characters he can use in Brawlhalla, and Ragnar is one of them, especially just because, Katars and Axe are so universal. Sig kits apart, they move very similarly regardless of which character you're playing on them. Speed definitely plays a big part, but in my experience, the minutia of dexterity and everything, and I know a lot of people are trying to be like, defensive, you're an idiot. I know I'm an idiot. Shut up. It doesn't really feel that different. I feel like the Sig kits of characters.
No, I understand what you're saying. You make a good point. But just like in game one, we saw Post Up run away with it early, but maybe iThrow's figured him out now. And again, that's that tournament experience. It's maybe the slightly different way of looking at the game that iThrow has, being a high-level sponsored player. And post-up, we're seeing him fire back. We're seeing that he can hold his own a bit in this fight. Like I said, it's just not quite enough to be able to beat iThrow.
We see post-up going for a lot of these neutral sigs on Axe and Katars. Two moves that cover your above you extremely well. One of them with an insane spike and the other with a decent amount of damage and force as they throw him upwards. I feel like he's relying on his sig kit a little bit too much here. I feel like he needs to go for bread and butter Katar strings and combos. If he wants to get consistent damage on iThrow, it brings it back to consistency. Resetting and being able to attack your opponent with a variety of mix-ups is extremely important. And I think that's what we see out of tournament players more so than people that get high ranks in ranked 1v1.
Absolutely, and right now, we're seeing post-up really cling to life on this last stock. It's his only hope, but iThrow gonna find that recovery just as I say it. And we've seen iThrow play better the longer this game goes on, just like in the first game. Post-up with the character change maybe caught iThrow out a little bit, but he's made the proper adjustments, and now iThrow is looking very comfortably to take this set 2-0.
I agree with that. I think iThrow was thrown off a little bit by the Ragnar pick, but I think more than anything, I think post-up just has tournament nerves more so than iThrow. iThrow's been to LAN events. He's played a ton of and placed in a ton of online tournaments. He's not throwing out signatures unless they're hitting, whereas post-up is throwing out a lot of sigs that are just whiffing entirely. I think that just comes down to the tournament nerves, and even there we see him side sig off the map. Whether that was a misinput or movement, it led him to get knocked out by iThrow's consistent gameplay. iThrow was able to approach him, downlight, Sair, knock him out. Said and done, iThrow continues on with the set in pocket.
Yeah, that's really iThrow looking really good. What else is there to say? He's got the set to destroy X Banner down. He's a sponsored player. We know he's good. Now we're seeing LZD versus Lynx. Just to talk about the bracket here, we have Crazy Bone and Dr. Phazon are going to be fighting. Winner of that moves on to play Wrenched. We had Vexum over Cheerios, which means iThrow and Vexum will be competing, and Noel waiting for the winner of Remy and Crocky. That could be... That's an exciting set. That's the one I'm really looking forward to. I'm also expecting Phazon versus Wrenched. Phazon, Wrenched, you know, I like them both. I'm a big fan of both those guys.
Right.
Nothing personal, Phazon. I want to see Wrench give it to him with the guitars, though.
I'm excited to see Noel and Remy if Remy takes it over Crocky, just because, you know, watching 2v2 partners duke it out is pretty entertaining. They know each other so well in the 2v2 environment. It almost seems like they lose out a little bit in the 1v1 environment.
I agree so strongly. The thing that I really want to see,
LZD with an interesting start. Maybe he just needs a second. Maybe he's lagging.
Just checking the lag.
Yeah.
He seems to be okay. Lynx giving him that sportsmanship.
I applaud you, Lynx. Thank you for that. It's respectable. You could just knock him out if you really wanted to, but he's respectable. LZD picks himself up a spear, hasn't thrown out a neutral light or a sider to signify that he's good to go. Lynx isn't having it.
And it looks like we'll either get a remake here shortly or hopefully not a disqualification coming through for inability to play the game. Nobody likes to see that. Nobody wants that.
No, no one does. I think because LZD signified that he was Dunzo and lagging in the first 10 seconds, we will just have a redo unless the issue occurs. I think we might have to source that decision making out to Slosh, though.
Yeah,
he is head
we're just
honcho
the
here.
casters. Not our call here. But
we can speculate.
If you look closely in your Discord, there is something I may have sent you while we're talking about it.
Oh, got a little bit of information on that boy Wrench from Fables Esports.
You know it.
NA rank 7 Wrench. That's a tall order. Getting rank 7 in an entire region. 5th place at Combo Breaker 2017, 7th place at CO Dreamland, 7th place at the Winter Championship, 7th place at the Spring Championship. If anything, this guy's consistent, right?
You know, a year ago, he absolutely wasn't. He was that newcomer on the scene who was trying to break into the top 8. But since World Championships last year, Wrenched has really stepped up. You know, at Combo Breaker, he did work. He put in work. He had never, I don't believe he had ever, even online, beaten Starlight in a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Took him out of Combo Breaker, took out ERAM, took out Effie. Didn't, in all those games, just went 6-0.
2, 1,
Ever through 3 sets against 3 high-level sponsored players, didn't drop 1 game in all those sets. Absolutely incredible.
We'll talk more about Wrench when he's on screen, ladies and gentlemen. We have Lynx and LZD going at it. It's something that didn't quite work the first time around. We're in for try 2. It seems like both players are connected to the internet very well this time. Lynx coming out on top with this hammer of Bogar. They're getting a lot of damage on LZD. Dodging onto the stage with a backwards nair, getting a lot of damage on, and impressively too, a side siege enough to seal the stock. And then about 34 seconds, taking about 30 damage, Lynx is able to get the first stock of LZD. I'll still mess it up, even though LDZ isn't here. And I don't know if that's because
he's looking so good right now. I just really got to stop you, defensive, interrupt you, and say how impressed I am by that first stock coming out from Lynx. Now he's having a little bit of trouble approaching, but this could give potential. Lynx not quite going to find it. LZD gonna get back up on his stage, and there's the signature big.
Wow. We saw that's almost a mirror of what happened with Wrenched and Wilson earlier. 30 seconds for one knockout, 30 seconds for the other person to knock the other guy out. It's just back and forth. Super aggressive Brawlhalla, which I love to see, and I hope they keep that pace up for the entire set. We see Lynx getting a stock on LZD there.
That's a recovery stuffed with the ground pound. Lynx cleaning that stock up nicely. It's all going to be what can he do with this advantage. Is LZD going to be able to find this kill? I'm expecting another maybe neutral sig to come out of LZD when he can.
Try to get that unarmed cancel.
Yeah, possibly a bit too aggressive right now. LZD, I'm really expecting that neutral sig. Lynx can't play too scared. He can't get caught out. The recovery is an option as well. LZD trying to get Lynx. Trying to get this knockout. Lynx is afraid to commit for damage.
Wow, that down sig caught high from Lynx. LZD high in the air, just above Lynx, and it caught. I'm very impressed by that. Stock's even at 1 apiece as LZD's able to seal the deal, and we're still almost on average knockout time. 30 seconds per stock so far. LZD doing very well with the spear, rack up damage onto Lynx. Damage is even in this matchup. LZD catching Lynx on the platform with a down light into a Sair. Very well played. Lynx just missing out on that ground pound, but another one after sliding off.
That was an incredible slide charge.
That it was. Let's see if he can follow up with another signature to seal the deal. Down light into an attempted dare, misses out. LZD trying to go for that neutral sig, stuffed. Onto the edge, Lynx playing carefully with the sword, tries to get that down air onto LZD, doesn't quite hit. LZD catches him up with the recovery. LZD helicoptering, trying to get that ground pound. Lynx not quite getting in there. Lynx not going for the default edge punish with the recovery. And back to neutral game. Both these players are deep in the red.
Lynx whiffing that signature, not being punished for a big weapon toss. Here's the ledge guard chance. There's the dodge and the recovery. Lynx not quite able to time or space that ground pound outright. This is.
Player 2
I wasn't ready to speak. I didn't see that coming. Caught off guard completely.
I was 100% expecting Lynx to go for a slide kick, a downlight unarmed into a recovery to knock out LZD there. But it just seemed like he opted for the dodge out into a ground pound, expecting LZD to dodge down and away. It just didn't catch, but it does get locked up by Lynx's side sig. And in the second match, we actually see Lynx, the winner of the first match, switching its character. Whether that's to keep LZD on his toes or because he's more comfortable with Wushang, we don't know, but he's definitely getting out a lot of damage very quickly before Zien.
Lynx,
oh no.
That's not where the stage is.
No, it's not. It's not where the stage is at all. Lynx going deep again. His options can bring him back to the stage, and the ground pound will even up the game to a 2 stocks apiece. I think this is the second time we've seen Lynx just kind of fall off the map.
But here he is, still kicking it in winners, looking to, I think, be 1 set away from top 8.
Are we already in the top 32?
Oh yeah, we are in top 32, my friend.
How time flies, dude. How time flies. We're already 2 hours in the tournament? Wow. Lynx dodging that neutral sig coming out from LZD. He's close to being knocked out himself, and he needs to even up the damage here if he wants this match to be close. He's pretty much working from a 2-stock game. He got good damage on the LZD very early on the first stock, but then lost. It's as if he's coming in to a new match in a crew battle almost, starting with 2 stocks instead of the traditional 3. LZD's playing a very, very patient game with this spear. Errant side sig punished by Lynx, but the neutral sig punished by LZD. Trying to get back to the top of the stage. Instead, Lynx grabs him in a neutral recovery. Neutral air. And is playing the edge again.
Yeah, Lynx off the stage has been very impressive. LZD, no luck there. He's kind of relying on some of these signatures. 4 kills onto Lynx, and Lynx going so deep. And just as I gave one credit for playing off stage and said the other wasn't finding luck there, the exact opposite happens, of course. LZD going very deep here for Lynx. That's gonna not quite be the kill.
Very well played by Lynx to get back to the stage. They're just utilizing his jumps. He looks like he had just barely enough movement on that dodge to get back to the stage. LZD almost gimping him on his last stock, but Lynx again able to even it up. Even stocks going in the final matchup. Wait, they've already played 1. Lynx could close out this set here. This could be it for LZD
is
and
looking
winners.
to shake it.
Lynx with another one of those side sigs doing decent damage onto LZD, playing patiently on the left side of the map, and this is exactly what we saw earlier when we saw Lynx play against... Drop, you're gonna have to remind me. Who did we see Lynx play against early in this? Was it Dr. Faison?
I don't believe so. It was someone who you were familiar with, who I was not, if I'm
Oh, it was Coach Baller. You're right.
Someone from your streams.
Or maybe Master Pike. Whoever it was.
Popular kid. You know.
He's definitely playing carefully here in this final stock and kind of staring down his opponent when he knows that he's close to being knocked out. 2 down lights come out, neither of them hit by LZD, quickly able to punish Lynx with a down air. Another down air whiffs there. Lynx back on stage, caught up with a neutral air. Recovery misses. Lynx with a down air, down light. Not hitting the follow-up, but a follow-up in the form of a recovery misses.
Lynx has no recovery. That's going to be it. He's going to die. Can't quite make it back. LZD.
Player 1 wins.
Taking full advantage of Lynx Zing at the start of that match. We're 1-1. I think this is the first game 3 we've seen defensive.
Is it?
I'm almost certain.
Wrenched and
Wilson
we had one. I think so.
You're right.
I'm not even. I haven't looked at the bracket in 2 hours, so I don't know. It looks like we have Lynx mirroring LZD in this 3rd match of the set, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see who Zatori reigns supreme and continues to move in the bracket. And not only is it a skin match, but it's also a stance match.
1, brawl.
Here. We'll see if Lynx can prove his worth, prove his might.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Lynx doing the character change like this.
I'm honestly surprised he didn't go back to Bodvar. He won decidedly with Bodvar in the first match, changed to Wushang, lost with Wuzhong, and instead of going back to the Bodvar pick, which he won with, he decides to mirror match.
And even Wushang probably would have been a comfortable win for Lynx if he had not Z'd. It's just that it's so bizarre. I mean, the gauntlets really did work. I'm surprised we didn't seem to go to Val if he was going to change at all. But right now, LZD looking very confident. Lynx might be struggling to find his footing here. He's just now coming alive with the spear, but LZD looking to take a pretty big lead, and probably the first stock here on Lynx, if Lynx isn't careful.
LZD catching that nair on Lynx. It's not enough to knock out. LZD with a downlight Sair puts Lynx in a dangerous position, and another side air closes out the first stock. Lynx needs to make an adjustment. I think LZD definitely downloaded some of Lynx's strats in the first match and has definitely shown that he can play up here. Close to top 8. Lynx almost out of options after hitting that neutral air. He's going to have trouble getting back to the stage. LZD whiffs on his down air. LZD with the advantage with a sword over edge. Lynx with a breakdance. Mid-map gets the knockout, and we see Cogsworth pop up again as he gets a little high five from the sidekick.
Yeah, Lynx able to do something to try and even this match back up, but right away LZD answers Lynx, puts so much damage on him, and now he's looking for that knockout, and Lynx gonna get caught out by that Sig. If Lynx is too afraid to approach and play aggressively, he's not gonna close this gap, and LZD is just gonna comfortably win. And it looks like Lynx might want to try and bait LZD. He's gonna try sharking here, trying to bait LZD into a mistake for a Gimp. But LZD not falling for it, playing very, very cautiously despite his advantage.
Seems like LZD has just been able to catch Lynx out so often without a weapon. You know, very early in the match, LZD went very low. Lynx followed up that with a weapon thrown to a ground pound, and LZD just comfortably got back to the map afterwards. And again, we see Lynx throwing away his weapon, and he goes unarmed against LZD. And with a sword, I mean, you can pummel someone who's unarmed. I'm worried for Lynx if he keeps on tossing his weapon here.
Yeah, both players playing just incredibly cautiously right now. Really just not wanting to approach each other at all. Someone has to make that first move, and Lynx, this runaway strategy, all defensive that we're seeing from him isn't working. When we were seeing him attempt to rush LZD down and break LZD's passiveness, break that barrier, Lynx was having a lot of success, but now he's switched off the weapon that was giving him the most success, and really can't find any way in this matchup. And I'm wondering if we're going to end up hitting time.
It would surprise me if we hit time. I don't think I've seen that in a tournament in a long time. But the way these two are playing, you know, dancing back and forth on opposite side of the map, I wouldn't be surprised. I do think LZD might catch a little bit of annoyance at Lynx and just start to chase him down. I think Lynx is honestly just trying to see LZD burn his dodge. Lynx goes very low here. LZD is unable to punish. Lynx catches himself in nair, downlight, side air. No follow-up though, playing very, very patiently. And a deep, deep ground pound will catch out LZD and knock him out.
And Lynx actually finding some success with that super telegraphed ground pound. LZD gonna find the side light, and we are evened up.
What is that, the second just unarmed side light to knock out? And then we've seen Crocky with one earlier and LZD with the one now.
You know, I believe you might be right. Lynx just barely missing that ground pound from LZD. And LZD looking to find this kill, but Lynx
is unarmed again, man. What is he doing unarmed?
Has he found a weapon this stock?
He had a sword early on, I think, and then he just got rid of it. And LZD's been able to camp weapons the entire time. Lynx finally getting himself a sword, goes high with it, goes deep with the ground pound. LZD immediately taking back charge of the match. We're back to limbo, back to dancing on the opposite sides of the map. Lynx getting a little bit of damage, going on LZD, getting immediately downlight stared for a second time. Both players have a sword on the left side of the map. Lynx throwing out a neutral sig, following up with a neutral light very quickly, trying to catch a side air on the wall. Doesn't quite hit it. Downlight stare, almost evening up the damage. Lynx has to play extremely carefully, as this is his winner bracket stock. LZD with an early taunt. Gets over LZD, Lynx.
LZD might be paying for that taunt here. No, Lynx is gonna eat that side air. That's game 3, 2-1 LZD. Lynx has to really be feeling the burn from that self-destruct right now.
That he must. I was very surprised that Lynx didn't capitalize on him hitting that side air into the wall. I thought that he'd be able to pull it out there, that very last hit that he got against LZD, but it was close. It was a close match, and we have Wrenched back up on the podiums with Dr. Faison. And
I said something about this particular matchup earlier, defensive.
You were looking for Wrench to kick Dr. Faison's butt, weren't you?
You know, I don't want to count anybody out, especially a guy like Dr. Faison, who has quite a lot of tournament experience, very high matchmaking every season.
But
I think these wrenched guitars are going to eat the classic Dr. Phazon guns alive.
well, what if Phazon doesn't play guns?
Oh, Phazon on Hattori. I think this is a mistake.
Wow, you think he should play guns? Single trick, one trick pony? One trick Phazon?
He is one of the best guns player in North America, period. There aren't very many people finding success with it, but Phazon is. Like I said, I think wrenched guitars would eat those blasters. So it's probably the smart choice for Phazon to play a different weapon, but it's such his trademark weapon that I would like to see more of it.
All right, well, maybe if he doesn't pull it out in this first match here, he will pick up guns in the second match. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, again, the Lucian pick that we've seen him so comfortable with. But we saw him play guitars more on Lucian earlier, didn't we? Getting knocked out
there was a lot of the
six.
guitars. I wouldn't be that surprised if he picked even a Barraza or a Thatch. I'd love to see him pick Thatch into the Amber.
2, 1,
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing the Barraza just because he does have that huge defense on Barraza that just almost renders high force valueless, right? But we see Dr. Phazon going for the spear early game. I was talking with someone earlier about the meta of Brawlhalla, and it's something that I normally ignore. I just play Nash, hands down. But spear is an extremely strong pick as of late, and Dr. Phazon maybe just wants to adopt that and play high speed, high aggression spear with Hattori. He's got wrenched over edge. Wrenched almost got a gimp on him, but it didn't pan out in either their favor, and both players are almost even in damage on this first stock here.
Yeah, I think the sword is what Phazon's going to need to shut down wrenched guitars. I really don't think that the spears are going to do him any favors, just like we saw. But wrenched switching out to the bow, which is interesting. Not what we know him for, but of course he's so good at Ember. We know he can play both the weapons, and their side sig going to take out Phazon.
We see that prowess with the side sig, and I think Ember's kit is one of my favorite just because of the, I think every other animal in a sig kit in Brawlhalla is an energy-based animal. Ember's got actual animals. She's got an actual bird, she's got an actual wolf, and harkening back to something that was in Brawlhalla a long time ago, it was more popular a long time ago, the Rainbow Mod kit had those animals looking extremely cool. But apart from that, they're strong signatures, each and every one of them. Dr. Phazon, however, has strong sigs of his own and gets a knockout with a side sig on the far opposite side of the map there.
Yeah, wrenched, really not able to get in with the guitars, not able to do his classic wrenched thing and get a big string at the start of that stock for Phazon. Instead, we're seeing him kind of try and chip away here with the bow, and I'm not so sure that this is going to be working out for him. And the Hattori pick might be exactly what Phazon needed to answer wrenched.
I think that's exactly what he was going for. I think you're right. But Wrench showing us that he can still play against Hattori, gets a quick knockout on Phazon. He's not phased whatsoever. Wrench can play bow against Hattori all day. But the question is, can he play these guitars against Hattori? The sword definitely wins out in the matchup, and the spear definitely wins up in the matchup against guitars. See if Wrench plays by the rules.
We've seen Wrench play against so many good swords. Being a player playing in NA for so long, having guys like Starlight and Boomy to practice against, and Stevenator. Stevenator, on his own team, and Noel's so well known for that Koji. Wrench taking that one very quickly.
I don't think I've ever seen that on Blackguard, and I think that might be something that only works on the very bottom of a wall. A down air that you continue to travel on past the wall into an immediate side air for the knockout. Wrench comfortably taking that match in 2 stocks, and Dr. Phazon sticking with spear, but sacrificing sword for scythe, another weapon that I feel like has a great matchup against Ember's kit.
Yeah, I'm just surprised Phazon's not picking the blasters. I think he's afraid to pick them into wrenched guitars and bow. And I think he's moving maybe away from a comfort weapon because he's respecting the opponent too much.
Right.
And I think that could end up really costing Dr. Phazon here in this matchup.
Now, we just saw Wrench miss a gimp on Dr. Phazon, something that could have been extremely easy if he had landed that ground pass after Dr. Phazon head bonked, it would have been lights out within 15 seconds. But instead we see Dr. Phazon live to rack up damage on Wrench, and the scythe pick is definitely working as this air battle is turning out in Dr. Phazon's favor, but he goes deep unnecessarily. But Wrench can't capitalize. Dr. Phazon picking up a spear as Wrench goes unarmed. Dr. Phazon has the high ground and immediately throws away the spear, probably to weapon starve. Misses the neutral sig. Wrench hits himself a side light. And we have even damage through the first minute of this match.
Wrench waiting too long to recover. Phazon baiting all those options out. Recovery stomped by that ground pound. And now Wrench playing from the back foot, gonna have to get a kill on Phazon. We'll see what Phazon can do with that. Scythe not able to deny the weapon. And that's gonna actually be a kill. Wrench answering right away.
I'm surprised by that. Again, a minute and 30 seconds in, damage is even, because Wrench was able to get Phazon out in short order in his second stock. Dr. Phazon going for that side sig, not making contact. He's rendered to the edge guard area. Wrench playing very well because Qatar's here. Dr. Phazon goes unarmed, gets one nair in, but Wrench gets a couple hits in with Qatar's here. And Wrench has shown consistently that he can play extremely well with these Qatars, but the ground pound caught out by the scythe of Dr. Phazon. Dr. Phazon on top. Like, I see a lot of scythe players space out from the edge a lot and utilize the downlight on scythe to catch someone trying to go over the top. Dr. Phazon was playing close, looking like he was trying to catch Wrench in a neutral light. And before he could even input anything, Wrench was already on top of him. So I don't know what Dr. Phazon has experience-wise on scythe, but he's not playing what I have seen most commonly in ranked. I'm guessing he's got his own set of meta rules.
If Phazon is making this scythe work as best as he can against a top 8 North American player like Wrench, but it's as we said, Wrench is top 8. There's an inarguable skill discrepancy between players when one is consistently placing in lands in online events, and the other is, oftentimes breaking top 8 in online events, but not really competing at these lands. These players are very far apart in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And Wrench up 1-0 right now, 1 stock apiece. We're going to see if all that tournament experience going to give him the nerves of steel. Maybe he can learn a thing or two from Noel if it's something he struggles with, as they're now teammates. But Dr. Phazon trying to get some damage with this scythe, and Wrench just playing around it so well right now.
Dr. Phazon able to pick up some damage under Wrench here with the scythe, but Wrench quickly back onto the platform. Tournament nerves are not sometimes Brawlhalla is just Brawlhalla, and it's muscle memory as we see Wrench take Dr. Phazon to the edge of the map and keep him there for a knockout.
Player 2 wins.
Very well played by Wrench to take this game 2, and that's the set. Is it not?
That's the set. Wrench 2-0 over Phazon. It's just like post up and who do we see post up fight? Very similar situation where we have a sponsored player who has this being
against
flown
iThrow,
out,
wasn't it? Was it
and
iThrow?
iThrow, yep. The sponsored player who is getting flown out to maybe tournaments to play and compete.
Mm-hmm.
Playing an online event like this just does not shake them at all. And for someone like Phazon to be up on stream against Wrench, that could be a big win for Phazon if he gets it. He has a lot riding on that, and Wrench, not to say that he doesn't care about the tournament, but he's been in dozens of situations that have even more pressure.
Right. We didn't see Phazon use his guns, and we're not going to see guns in this set either, as we have Noel playing Hattori, who he's been picking up a lot more recently, the character he picked playing 2v2s with Remy the other day in Gravy Cancel.
Brawl.
And, wait, not Gravy Cancel. Just regular, whatever tournament it was. Don't mind me. And Remy picking up Yumiko, a character that he didn't play in the last couple tournaments, but a character that he plays extremely well with. He's been playing Bo for a long time, maining, who was it, Koji? Before he switched over to Yumiko?
I believe, both these players have history on Koji. This, I think, is potential to be the finals match of the tournament as well. I'd really like to see Wrench to make the finals. I said earlier my pick to win it all was Noel, and right now, Remy doing the dirty to Noel a little bit and taking a very big lead early on, only 45 seconds in, not even before Noel loses that first stock, and Remy is looking healthy.
You know, the other day in the 2v2 tournament, it was people saying in the chat that Remy was carrying Noel. I don't think Noel would agree with that if he was in the conversation, but at the same rate, you know, maybe it did happen. We have both players in their second stock here. Noel did not want to be at a deficit for longer than 15 seconds, and we'll see if he counters Remy's aggression here with some of his
This
own.
second stock from Noel has just been incredible. It's like two different people are playing from that first one. Noel, what did I say? Nerves of steel from Noel. That's what he's known for, thriving under pressure. This guy, he goes down one stock, a match before top 8. Looks really bad. No problem for Noel. He's going to bring this right back. Right now, Remy putting out that bow damage, finding pressure onto Noel. But Noel's just ducking and dodging all of it. Recovery for some extra damage. And Remy needs to find something, some way to efficiently kill Noel right now.
Gets a dodge read and a little bit more damage on Noel, and a side stick that's not going to be quite enough to knock out, but it definitely puts Noel in a situation where he has to be careful recovering back to the map. Now, we saw Remy get the first stock very quickly, we were just talking about. You were talking about how Noel has nerves of steel. Normally, it takes players a match or two to kind of get to grips with the tournament and, you know, get themselves back in the straights. It took Noel about 15 seconds. It took Noel about 15 seconds to be like, damn, I just got my butt handed to me. Let's switch it up. He got 2 stocks in about a minute after he got knocked out the first time. Nerves of steel, performing under pressure is Noel's common grounds. Almost knocked out by that side stick there on the back side of it. Noel is in his final stock now. He's playing consistently, but it seems like Remy's picking himself up by the bootstraps right now as well. Kind of normalizing himself. We saw him play random earlier in the tournament. Now he's playing his main. Maybe he just needed to warm up on bow a little.
You really were seeing Remy with these huge bursts of just insane play. Noel consistently kind of keeping the pressure up on Remy, getting consistent damage, finding kills at good times. Remy just exploding here and there, bringing back what seems like a lost match onto Noel over and over again. Whenever Noel gets too far ahead, Remy just brings it right back.
We saw Remy dodge out of Noel's spear down sig, barely escaping that deadly smoke. Noel playing on the edge here. We saw him very comfortable on the edge in recent tournaments and throughout his history in the Brawlhalla. Gets a nair onto Remy. Remy's a hit or two away from dead. A neutral light, not able to do it, but Noel has a spear over edge. Wouldn't be surprised to see the ground pound into a recovery. He throws out both, neither of them hit.
Having to burn his dodge, Noel had a lot of potential there to get the kill. I don't know if I agree with the ground pound. I would have maybe preferred to see him line up a side air or dare. But as it is, Remy looking for a kill with this hammer. It could really go either way. Next big attack is going to do it. And Noel camping on the side of that stage. Remy's got a hammer. Dodge burn from Noel. Remy doesn't want to punish that. Noel coming up just in time for the Sair. That's going to catch Remy out. And that's going to be the win.
Well played by both players. We saw stocks fly in the first minute and a half, and then gameplay slowed down a bit towards the last couple of stocks. I feel like Remy can do better, hands down. I feel like Remy didn't play to his potential in the last match. I feel like we're going to see him pick it up here. I want to see him play more hammer against Noel. I don't think the bow is working for him. I think hammer's his better weapon in this matchup.
Yeah, the hammer was just all around beautiful play from Noel. From Remy. It worked out excellent. I agree with more hammer. Is going to be only a good thing.
We see him with a bow here. Noel immediately punishing him for that. Damage is basically even, probably because Remy has a little bit more damage on his side with the character pick. Noel playing carefully with these side lights. Remy catching him with a couple of hits, a little bit of damage going out. Noel catching him on edge with a gravity cancel side or neutral sig, just missing. Downlight Sarah again. Not trying.
And that was so smart from Noel to know not to jump there off of that D-light based on that positioning. Remy hitting a ground pound on the stage, a bit telegraphed though. Noel not expecting it at all. Dodge through signatures, not quite gonna kill. Not quite with the recovery either from Noel. Remy landing on the ground. There's the stop. There's the ground pound. Weapon toss doesn't connect, but Noel, no recovery, no options left to get back to stage. And Remy,
he got the first stock in the last match too, man. So, you know, maybe Noel can bring this back the same way he did, but if Remy continues to put out pressure with his hammer, I think he can pull this out. Remy so close to dead on so many hits from Noel. That recovery not quite enough. The high kill box on Shipwreck showing itself off. You can't kill anybody up the top here unless they're in scab red. Unless you hit a recovery with spear.
And that's the Noel low attack power Hattori on Shipwreck. He's sticking with the spear right now, and this surprises me. And I wonder if he loses this game, if we'll see him switch off to Koji, or if he'll stick with the Hattori. I don't necessarily think he's playing bad with spear, but I think his Koji game would do more for him. His sword is so good, his bow is so good, and the spear's just not quite up to rank 1 North American par.
It's definitely a newer pick for him. He's got the Kill Bill skin on Hattori, but I don't know, man. Like, I think he made the switch in the past month or two. In tournaments, I've seen him play Hattori instead of Koji, and I don't know if it's because people are just more familiar with his Koji and it's red. But Remy's able to get a stock there off of Noel and has a decent lead here as he's only in the orange of his second stock.
Yeah, we saw Noel just come to life on the start of his second stock in the last game, and he hasn't done anything like that in this game too. It's looking like Remy's still alive in this set and we'll be going to game 3, but with these two, you never know. A stock can just vanish so quickly.
That it can. Remy catching Noel in a neutral light, going over to his bow, missing the punish on Noel, who tried to go for just a hair off the ground gravity cancel down light, side air into a weapon throw not connecting. Noel trying to get the down light, he didn't even mean anything else. Remy was done already. Noel was just trying to get a cemented stock. You know, trying to put cinder blocks on Remy's feet and put him to the bottom of the cove. But Noel is in a bad spot here. He's in red damage against Remy's hammer. A single Sarah Nair or a stomp combo could put Noel into kill percent. A signature that close to the wall.
This is that moment though, defensive. This is where Noel thrives. What did I say? That pressure? This is where he needs to step up 100%. Down at red, last stock. This is when Noel's gonna play his best. Remy has him in the edge guard. He's not quite able to close out the stock. And Bo could be difficult to get a kill with here on Shipwreck. Noel looking very good right now. Ledge guard potential. High dodge comes out from Remy, not punished from Noel. And we're almost even in damage. Remy
we've seen Noel whiff more in this match than I think I've seen him whiff in an entire tournament with these neutral lights and side lights on sword. I don't know if that's Remy's positioning and movement or what, but it's definitely led to him being very, very close to being knocked out on the stock. And more whiffs coming out from both players. Noel catching a recovery, the high kill box on Shipwreck showing again, and Remy with a grounded side air is able to seal the match and push us into match 3.
Yeah, that dodge coming out a little bit too early for Noel. Remy holding the Sarah for just the right amount of time. And like you said, we're going into game 3. Noel out of the lobby, hopefully just doing a quick restart of his router of the game.
You know, it's always, you know, the connection in your PC. That's always the reason why you lose a match, right?
It's the only reason one can lose.
Right. And it's always, you know, someone's computer always has to mess up a little bit. You know, when I lose in ranked, I restart. When I win in ranked, I'm sure my opponent restarts. It's just the way it works.
So, you know, the winner of this game will be going on to face the winner of Vaxum and iThrow. You know, we already have in the other 2 games, we're going to have LZD versus Wrenched in top 4 of upper bracket. But I think we're going to see iThrow versus, I'm sticking with my guns here, Noel. I'm picking Noel here over Remy to take this game 3, but it's so close. It could absolutely go to either player.
That it could. We've seen both the matches so far in the set come down to the last stock, both players in red. With Noel's quick restart of his client, or restart of his, probably just the client, not his modem or anything, because it went so quick. we'll probably see an improved gameplay here. We see he's a lot more aggressive off the bat, even though he's taken a little bit of damage from Remy. He's definitely put out double, triple that damage with this spear.
Yeah, we're seeing Noel look, you know, pretty good at the start of this game, considering Remy had, I believe, taken the first stock in games 1 and 2. If Noel's able to break that pattern, could be just what he needs for a comfortable Game 3 win, and that's looking to be the case right now. Only light orange health. Yumiko might be able to find that knockout. Remy's a bit of a magician pulling those kills from nowhere, but Noel, tough opponent to try and cheese out with the hammer. He's so familiar with that spacing, with those hitboxes, and he knows just what Remy wants to do. What he knows every trick Remy has, being his twos partner.
You know, maybe them playing together so often is making this match even more even, because they know each other's play styles so well. Remy on top of Noel here over edge. No knockout from it though.
This is Noel up by close to a full stock. And he has potential to take the first 2 stocks of the match. Remy just barely connecting with that side air. I really thought for sure Noel would be going down. Remy needs to find the signature for the knockout. Noel might be able to answer this back and maintain his 1 stock lead here. Remy needs to hold on to this stock if he wants to stay in the upper bracket.
That he does. Noel catching a side sig though on Remy as he's stacked, will secure a second stock knock for himself, and he's white, damaged, undamaged on his second stock here. So he's got a lot of room to play with to secure the set. Remy playing carefully with the bow, going for the bread and butter, downlight, side light, nairs, interrupting Noel's neutral sig. Doesn't go for the second interrupt, but he does get a side sig on Noel, and it looks like Remy might get this game even yet. Noel with 2 recoveries, knocking Remy high. Remy with a side air, gets Noel over the edge.
Recovery coming out. Noel doesn't even need it. Calculated taunt coming out.
Oh man, he knew. He knew as soon as Remy went over the side that he had that kill in the bag, and he let us know with that GC taunt. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't seen Baxum play today at all, but we have seen iThrow. And iThrow did very well against post-up after a little bit of an adjustment period. Baxum with Orion. I don't think we've seen any Orion today. And we haven't seen Lance since...
You're right.
We haven't seen Lance since Roland, played by Kostelix.
Yeah, I believe you're completely right.
3,
very little
2,
Lance.
1, brawl.
No Orion, but there has been so much spear and sword. A little bit of gauntlets. And a little bit of scythe seems to be the NA meta. iThrow versus Vaxum, and this is going to be an interesting match. Vaxum might not quite have that tournament experience that iThrow has, but he is an animal in the online leaderboard. He has been for quite some time, and he's looking very strong versus iThrow at the start of this game.
You know, you just mentioned scything, and it made me remember. I just have to quickly look in the bracket for my boy Trophius. Where did he play up to today? Interesting. I just needed to peek at that bracket quickly. I was interested. iThrow has the brute of the damage on him here in this first match of the set, ladies and gentlemen. Both players close to deep red. iThrow closer to that point. He's armed. Vaxum's not. Lands a side air. Lands a weapon toss. Will he get a side air with the hammer? No. Vaxum stays below it on edge. The weapon throw into a pickup. Nair. Nair doesn't connect. Stomp into a Sair. Doesn't connect. Nair connects. Vaxum needs to be careful here, as iThrow definitely has the knockout potential with this hammer. Vaxum with a side light, almost able to knock out iThrow. Both players deep in red. That would have been our 3rd side light, unarmed side light knockout of the tournament. iThrow looking for these stomps, not making contact with them. Vaxum picking up a lance and immediately throwing it away. I guess he's going to favor spear in this matchup. iThrow almost getting up with that makeshift Russian thing on the edge.
The makeshift Russian Mafia almost working. Vaxum gonna need to close this kill out. Instead, iThrow gets the stomp, gets the side light, and this could be trouble for Vaxum if iThrow is able to keep this pressure out. Side light from Vaxum not quite gonna be contested, not punished. And that recovery, not gonna connect. The weapon throw from Vaxum, I thought for sure that would lead into a follow-up. But iThrow gonna continue putting out damage. The signature, gonna give him a nice little
knockout, man. Vaxum needed that. iThrow's getting free damage on this stock now.
iThrow has a lot of potential to build a big lead right now, and here it is, the hammer's starting to hit hard. That stomp no longer comboing into the side light, but the side air. iThrow looking for a little bit more damage before he dies here, and the very telegraph dodge in from iThrow is gonna work. He's finding a lot of damage. Vaxum finally, from almost black HP, finally hits that side air, taking iThrow down. That's a 2.5 minute stock one from Bodvar.
Wow, iThrow played that extremely well. It seemed like Vaxum was struggling for that knockout move, finally finding it in that Sair. iThrow already has him down into the orange on a second stock. iThrow made great utility there. Wow. Very well played by iThrow. We'll see if he continues that hammer play from his first stock. It seemed like he spent a lot of time waiting for Vaxum to approach, throwing out those stomps on hammer. iThrow trying to get a side stick in, not quite hitting. Vaxum now with the spear, feels a little bit more comfortable, looks a little bit more comfortable. Gets the weapon throw into an unarmed recovery. iThrow back with his hammer. Vaxum trying to get armed, picks himself up the lance. Side light doesn't hit into the air, but a side air from iThrow might be enough to knock out Vaxum here. Vaxum recovers, iThrow gets through it. iThrow playing comfortably with his hammer, trying to go for those stops again. Vaxum hits himself a Sair. We're going back and forth, trading damage. Vaxum's been able to even up this match. iThrow's 1.5 minute stock not really, showing up here. We don't see the fact that iThrow is so deep in the lead. Vaxum's played extremely well here.
Yeah, Vaxum is doing a fantastic job of fighting back here, trying to not let iThrow just develop that lead. And like we said in iThrow's other matches, he seemed to be doing better the longer they went on. Against Vaxum, that's not so much the case. We're seeing a lot of mind games and potential reads happen between these two. Like, look at those dodge-ins from both of them. iThrow chain dodges in and up, Vaxum dodges in, and they're almost on top of each other with the dodges, trying to bait something out, trying to find an opening. These guys are playing heavy mind games with one another, and Vaxum has done such a good job bringing this back. I'm gonna say it again because
it's real. It's happening right ahead of us. It's facts. I can just imagine Crocky now with a notepad writing down all these new dodge circles of these guys as they're dodging in towards each other. iThrow getting damage done onto him by bread and butter, downlight, side air combos from Vaxum. Vaxum with the down throw, picks up iThrow, and we see Vaxum in the lead now after 5 minutes almost in this match. iThrow seems to have taken a step back and is, not on the aggression like he was previously. He's on the back foot now. Vaxum taking a step forward towards him. Has iThrow in deep red, barely in red himself, dark orange. Vaxum dodging in, dodging up, dodging towards iThrow, keeping the aggression on. iThrow has his hammer again. We're going to look for those stomps here. There's one. A side air, another stomp. iThrow, I can feel it. There's two. Oh, there's three. iThrow only making contact with one of those stomps. A fourth whiffs. Vaxum just needs a couple Sairs or a couple Sigs to knock out iThrow here. The more time he spends just kind of dancing away from iThrow, the more time iThrow can get weapon or get damage onto him. Vaxum gets a recovery and does it. iThrow finally.
Vaxum, very impressive comeback there over iThrow. And the winner of this game gets the misfortune of moving forward into the bracket and facing Noel. Vaxum looking to come out swinging in the first tournament I've seen him really show up. If he takes down iThrow and Noel back to back, then he'll have a shot at either Wrenched or LZD in upper finals, and that could be a lot of sponsored scalps coming Vaxum's way from tournament play.
Well, we see Vaxum is still rocking the old Renaissentia badge. If I'm not mistaken, at one point Renaissentia and Vex were almost synonymous in the community. So maybe sponsored players don't really impress him that much. Maybe just like, yeah, it's just another one of the sponsored guys. No big deal. I'm not concerned about it.
And like we said, Vaxum's dominance has been all on the ranked 1v1 ladder. He's able to bust into the top 10 whenever he wants to, seemingly, like, just with ease. So he does have games versus these guys.
Right. I think I saw someone in chat saying that he needs to pick up Nash. He's the Nash god. I'd love to see that, personally. As a Nash main myself, But I don't know why he's playing Orion. It doesn't really seem like he's been using the Lance that often, and his spear gameplay is, you know, decent. I think he's most likely picking Orion just for the stat spread. You know, even force, even defense, even speed, even dex. Just all-around even character, similar to Ithrow's Bodvar pick. Downlight Sair, almost enough to knock out Vaxum. Ithrow playing safe on edge though. Has Vaxum done anything notable on Lance in this match so far? Or in this
It's
set, rather?
absolutely been the spear that's been carrying him. We're even going to see him just toss that Lance away. Ithrow playing very cautiously here, not wanting to aggress too hard on Vaxum. He doesn't want to risk losing game 2 and going out 0-2 to the arguably much lesser known player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious if Vaxum is just keeping his Lance in his back pocket. And at this point, I feel like if it was in his back pocket, he needs to pull out and use it right freaking now. Because Ithrow does have the advantage, and even though Ithrow had the advantage in the last match, and the Vaxum was able to bring it back, if Ithrow, you know, keeps this momentum going, he can get this match done in, you know, a short 6 minutes. Ithrow continue to get damage on a Vaxum. Vaxum nearing red on his second stock, hasn't quite gotten Ithrow to easy knockout percentage. This high kill box on Shipwreck, keeping Ithrow alive. I wouldn't be surprised if this is why Ithrow wanted to play on this map, is because he knew Vaxum's move set, Vaxum's tendencies would only be knocking him high and not so far left and right.
Ithrow looking very, very good right now to take game 2. That should be a kill. There it is. Ground pound going to be timed properly from Ithrow. 2 stocks up on Vaxum, although Vaxum could very easily make that just 1 stock. Ithrow wants to go to game 3, and this could be that consistent Ithrow we were talking about, just getting better and better as the set goes on versus opponent. I wonder if we'll see a potential character change from Vaxum in game 3.
I really want to see a change. If he doesn't win this match, which is still 100% possible, I would love to see him play Nash. Just 100% selfishly, I want to see him play Nash because I want to see some Nash in the tournament. I was disappointed that Crocky didn't pick him up, and I don't know really anybody else that plays Nash apart from Remy. And I wanted to see Remy play Bo the other day. I'd love to see him play Bo today, even though he didn't come out on top. Ithrow, in the match we're watching right now, has picked his hammer back up. And, you know, seemingly, he's not done a lot of damage on the Vaxum in this second stock for him. And it seems like Vaxum is very likely to get a knockout early. And 3 minutes into the match, it's even stock scan. Vaxum, like I said, could still very much so win this match.
Yeah, Vaxum doing everything he can to bring it back. Really impressive showing here versus Ithrow. It's so hard to say what I think is going to happen here defensive. I think we're going to go into game 3, and Ithrow is doing a great job of spacing Vaxum out right now. Vaxum not really able to approach. Vaxum throwing the weapons away.
Dude, play the Lance, Vaxum. Come on, play the damn Lance. Downlight into recovery. Ithrow is very close to knocking out Vaxum, but it doesn't seem like he's playing for the knockout. It seems like he's playing just to rack up damage. And as I say that, he goes for a high recovery that could have knocked out. But again, Vaxum, just play the Lance, dude. Play the Lance. He keeps on throwing away the weapons that he needs. I don't know what he's trying to prove here.
Yeah, Vaxum not having any success with this weapon throw strategy that he seems to be going for. Maybe it was all a ruse. Now he's turning it on to Ithrow, but the ground pound. That's
ground pound
very
cements
punishable.
Player 2 wins.
Oh, man. Vaxum, what are you doing? That was definitely a great match. We saw Vaxum come back from a 2-stock deficit and bring Ithrow, you know, close to death on his last stock. And we do see a character swap to Bryn, which I'm happy about. Because I feel like if you don't play Lance, you must play Axe, right? Like,
3,
come on.
2,
Come on.
1, brawl.
I hope he'll use both the weapons on this character, but we'll have to see how this goes. Axe? Seeming to be what he wants stops
Picks
for.
up the Axe. He's using it. Drop. He's using it. He's putting out moves, man. He's using it.
I like this choice defensive. I believe in the Axe, but Vaxum's just going to throw that away. He is so eager to throw these weapons, just no fear about being punished for not having one.
You know, could it be, like, I haven't put any critical thought into it, could it be that he's just trying to keep Ithrow on sword instead of hammer? Is he afraid of Ithrow's hammer, possibly?
Maybe? It seems like he's going to great lengths to avoid that. And Ithro doesn't really seem to just want the hammer, so
Well, Ithro definitely plays a very balanced mode where he doesn't rely too much on the hammer or the sword. It's whatever he has in hand, he makes work for him. You know, he's not like Vaxum. He's not throwing it away and looking for the other weapon. Vaxum finding a down air there, looking for more damage on Ithro, who's in deep red. He throws away his axe again. You know what? Vaxum must just be great at unarmed, and we just haven't seen it yet.
I think he just likes constantly switching up what moveset he's going to use to try and make him harder to read. But Ithro, talk about reads, Vaxum with a nice recovery. Gonna catch that chain dodge out. Ithro forward, diagonally upwards. He's gonna get punched. That big recovery.
Hard. Vaxum playing a very unique style of Brawlhalla right here, ladies and gentlemen. Drop, you brought up a good point. Maybe he is trying to keep, you know, a different weapon in hand at all time. It's keeping Ithro on his toes. It's definitely keeping me on my toes. I'm very much so involved in this match, more than any others that we've seen today. Vaxum playing on his back foot, playing away from Ithro. Ithro seemingly just giving him the weapon pickup. Vaxum,
yeah, I think Ithro's like almost afraid to get aggressive when Vaxum's unarmed, and I think that's a mistake. Vaxum just using those weapon throws for damage. He probably gets, you know, even if it's just 20 damage, that's all it is in an entire match of weapon throws. It adds up.
Well, every little bit counts, and if you watch Crocky's stream ever, you'll see him say that's damage about 1,000,000 times. Ithro securing a knockout with a Sair there. I'm wondering, I haven't played Vaxum in ranked 1v1 in ages, and I don't know if he's on Pro Brawlhalla, but I need to tune into that more, because I would love to see Ithro and Vaxum play in ranked 1v1 and see how different their play styles are compared to a tournament match. Because I feel like Vaxum is just playing this way for the tournament. I don't know. We see him get a down air into a side air there, a side light. He's not going for traditional follow-ups. He's not going for traditional ins, and it's bizarre. He gets a side air there, and I think that's the most damage we've seen in, you know, a 10-second span for this entire match.
Well, Vaxum is forcing Ithro to play his pace. Ithro's dealing with it fairly well, but Vaxum is in the lead. This could be Vaxum upsetting Ithro. I would absolutely call this an upset if Vaxum takes game 3.
I 100% agree. You know, Vaxum's throws remind me of Chu Cordy. I don't know if you ever saw him play, but his gameplay was intensely throw heavy, even past the throw nerf. Vaxum, comfortable unarmed. You're right. It's a mistake for Ithro to not approach Vaxum unarmed. I feel like he's missing out on a lot of potential damage.
That it's part of what has let Vaxum stay in this game so comfortably. There's the stop. Gonna read that dodge. Vaxum down on his last stock, trying to cling on to the upper bracket and have his shot against Noel. We just might see Ithro versus Noel in the following winners set.
You know, I feel like if we do see Vaxum and Noel in the next set, it will be a match that might time out. We've seen Ithro and Vaxum play into the 5th minute multiple times here, and it's always led them to, you know, 1 stock apiece, evenish damage. They're both insanely patient players, it seems like. They know that sometimes you gotta play a little bit of mind chess with your opponent. Ithro racks up a ton of damage here with these stomps and Sairs, and quickly gets Vaxum into the red. The only question is, how long will Vaxum be in the red in this last match of the set?
Yeah, Ithro is looking to close this out right now. Vaxum needs to play so carefully. He needs to play mistake-free. Avoiding the nairs and the Sairs is what's important. He becomes unarmed, but we know Vaxum doesn't care about that. Vaxum going all in on the unarmed, the haymaker. Vaxum,
Player 2 wins.
not the safest option. Gonna be punished for it, and Ithro dealing nearly 600 damage that game. And if I'm not mistaken, right now, defensive, we are in the top 8. You know, we're not like the hoity-toity casters who need one for pools and, you know, another group for the top 32. We've been doing this whole thing. I think we're told we might, you know, I was told we were maybe going to be given a few minutes. that we might take a few minute break before we start top 8. We're about, what, 3 hours into this?
Sounds about right. I think a 10-minute break sounds alright. I'm sure people in the chat could, hit up the bathroom, grab a snack, but we might jump into this next match right now. We'll see here.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to be taking a break, that the players are aware. I think that we're going to get, 5 to 10. Let everyone, refill your snacks, get refreshed, and get excited for top 8.
Sounds good by me. I know I'm going to get myself some popcorn quickly. Oh, no, that won't sound good on the mic, will it?
Defensive, I have some chips sitting right next to me. I've been staring at them for hours. I need those chips, defensive. We're gonna shove a couple of those in my face in the next few minutes. Go to the bathroom. We'll be right back, fellas.
See you in a few, guys.
Pull up, Frank. Headshot, Frank. Sit down, Frank. Stand up, Frank. Pass out, Frank. Wake up, Frank. Fade it, Frank. Fade it, Frank. Pull up, Frank. Headshot, Frank. Sit down, Frank. Stand up, Frank. Pass out, Frank. Wake up, Frank. Fade it, Frank. Fade it, Frank.
Around some people living their life in bottles. Granddaddy had to go backstroke every day in Chicago. Some people love the way it feels. Some people want to cure their sorrow. Some people want to fit in with the popular. That was my problem. I was in a dark room, loud tunes, looking to make a vow soon. Filling up my cup, I see the crowd move, changing by the minute, and the record will repeat. Took a sip, then another sip. Then somebody said to me,
pull up, Frank. Headshot, Frank. Sit down, Frank. Stand up, Frank. Pass out, Frank. Wake up, Frank. Fade it, Frank. Fade it, Frank. Pull up, Frank. Headshot, Frank. Sit down, Frank. Stand up, Frank. Pass out, Frank. Wake up, Frank. Fade it, Frank. Fade it.
If you do not hear me, then you will be history, Kendrick. I know that you're nauseous right now, and I'm hoping to lead you to victory, Kendrick. If I take another one down, I'ma drown in some poison, abusing my limit. I think that I'm feeling the vibe. I see the love in her eyes. I see the feeling of freedom is granted as soon as the damage of vodka arrived. This how you capitalize. This is parental advice, and apparently I'm over influenced by what you are doing. Not that I was doing the most, and someone said to me,
fade it.
I toss and turn, I keep stressing my mind. I look for peace, but see I don't attain what I need for keeps this silly game we play. Look at this. Madness, the magnet keeps attracting me. I try to run it, but see I'm not that fast. I think I'm first, but surely finish last. Cause day and night, the lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone through the day and night. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night. Day and night, the lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone, some things will never change. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night. Day and night.
Welcome back.
I think we're back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I know that there was a ton of CC giveaways going through while we were taking a quick break. Hope you guys had good luck there. Drop, did you enjoy your chips in your face? Was that good?
I put a lot of chips in my face a lot of chips. Let's just say I ate a lot. Yeah.
All right. It seems like. Yeah, they can go, right? Seems like
We're ready. We're ready for the action.